Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
Shirt Hunter, you're checking Sam Pittman there prior to the first practice of fall camp, which I kind of agree with Phil Elson's anything but fall camp based on the temperatures that these guys are having to go through. Cam Ball talked about it a little bit last night. He wasn't exactly his best self. Tommy, I don't know about you, but it has been hot on the golf course lately, and if I'm not my best self on the golf course, I can't even imagine what I'd be like in full pads in the coming weeks or coming days, and then also even just being out there running as much as those guys did last night.
Well, better get ready because I don't know how much cooler it's going to be when you get to Stillwater for an 11 a.m. game that'll be played in a sun field. So these are the days you get better, but it's really, I think, as much mental. These guys are young. I mean, I'd worry more about the coaches in the heat than I would the players. I know they're exerting themselves, but they're highly monitored. I mean, much like me and you, Ty, these are fine-tuned athletes. Yeah. But I don't worry about the young guys out there. I worry about the old guys that aren't in pads in a few days out there. Those are the ones that probably going to, have a little more of a challenge. These young guys, they'll give them enough water and IVs and all these things that keep them going, but monitor their weight closely in and out. But, man, it's us old dudes that go out to practice we got to watch out for.
Apparently, Sam Pittman's dealing with an ailment on his hip. I would guess there's plenty of other coaches that are not fully up to snuff and have some bumps and bruises, or, like you said, just the energy aspect is a little different for those guys relative to the players.
Being in the heat, man, it's just, that's why they call these acclimation practice or acclimation days that before they put pads on. I mean, again, if you're 20, 21, I'm not saying you can't have heat exhaustion or even a heat illness, but it just, the older you get, the harder it gets. And these guys getting used to it starting yesterday out there. We'll talk more about it. I'm sure there will be a moment that some of us will take away from practice yesterday that's somehow going to be the key to the season. That's generally
Broden's catch. 10
great
wins.
catch, but
10 wins.
that's worth 2 wins. What happened yesterday? Absolutely. All right, that's where we begin this morning. Brought to you by the Fence Man. 782-3936 is the number. Give them a call, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man will custom install any kind of fence, gate, powered automatic gates, ornamental iron, aluminum, wood, chain link, vinyl, you name it, they do it if it comes in a fence, and they love custom projects as well. Controlled access is one of their specialties, 782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
So we got plenty of Sam Pittman to discuss. We're going to hear from Cam Ball, Hudson Clark, and Taylon Green, too, plus Chuck Barrett at 6:30. We'll get his thoughts not only on first day of fall camp, but also what we heard from Cal earlier this week. He's given his thoughts on the Give Me the Hogs, Chuck podcast, but yet here with us. But before we get into that, as the NFL Hall of Fame game gets going tonight, Houston going to Chicago. We'll, I guess, see Caleb Williams later on. I can't remember if 100% he's playing, but the bigger story to me is them using the Hawkeye system, which will eliminate the chain game potentially starting in 2025. What is the Hawkeye system, you ask? Well, it's the same type of technology that is used for tennis. So, those different, like the ball hitting right before the line, stuff like that. It's basically just a very fine-tuned tech that is accurate and tells you exactly where ball is supposed to be in the terms of tennis, and it's being used in the preseason for football. It could be used in the regular season as early as 2025. So as of the next NFL season, we could be heading towards a new era of non-chain game football, which to me is disappointing. We talked about it a little bit a couple months ago, but now we got preseason ahead of us tonight, and I'm bummed out about it. I think it's stupid on a Thursday.
Again, it's the chain, and the chains are a very important part, obviously, of football because they determine, the goal, and that's first downs and touchdowns, right? One turns into the other. But we're all in a rush to remove the human element, and I don't know that, how many times we've looked at the game and said, man, if that chain gang had just been a little more fair, or they favored the home team, or, I think this overstated. But does it really make sense that we got 4 old guys over there running around in, referee uniforms, bringing chains on the field to determine first downs? There's got to be a better way to do it. But I think that, it's kind of like the strike zone, the K zone in baseball. We're all looking for technology to replace the human element. We're gonna evolve all of our ways out of a job if we're not careful.
I just think it's part of the entertainment value. That's something Chuck always points out, and I love the little build up to hey, did they get the first down? Did they complete the fourth down? That's part of it. It takes away that element. And now that's not the difference between me watching a football game or not, but it is a part that I've thoroughly enjoyed. Only one, I got to be honest, there's only one time I think about the chain gang royally screwing up, and that's Michigan and South Carolina, where the guy was clearly short. They gave him the first down, and then Clowney pummels that Michigan running back. It was basically karma, and they get the ball back. That's the only time I can visually remember looking at the chain gang and saying, how the heck did they get a first down out of that? There's probably other times, but I don't think that I don't think that they should be heading in this direction. It's stupid. This is a part of football. It's been a fabric of football for a number of years. And now we're going iRobot, and we're just going technology, and it's eventually going to take over the world, and robots are going to be running the earth.
Well, as someone with some experience with this, technology that can improve the actual spot of forward progress would be more beneficial to the game than replacing the chains. Because,
I'm good with that.
I mean, the chains, I don't want to say are exact science, that, we got it down to the exact, fraction of an inch. Because it is chains and sticks in human beings, but you don't. First of all, you don't blame the chain gang for whether or not it's long or short. That's not on them. That's on, the spot was bad. That's what I'm saying. If AI could come along and help you somehow efficiently improve the forward progress spot, that would be a greater improvement to the game than replacing the chains. But I don't know how someone out there might be able to figure that out. I don't know how it is. I've always thought you could put a chip in the ball and somehow make that work.
Same with golf ball. When someone figures out how to not mess up the golf flight of a golf ball by putting in a tracker chip for just the average golfer, they're going to make some money someday. Apparently, according to Hong Kong Sui, who's texting, Caleb Williams is not playing tonight, so the first-round pick will not be suiting up for the Chicago Bears. It's on the NFL Network. I got to go look at my TV and see if I think I get the NFL Network, Tommy. Outside the Olympics, and I guess Major League Baseball, there's nothing on. Are you going to watch tonight, Big C?
Well, not after the news you just told me.
With Caleb Williams
the
not
whole
playing?
Reason to watch is because of Caleb Williams.
Yeah, and he's not playing. I don't know if Stroud's playing or not tonight, but that would actually be a fun rookie versus sophomore battle, but it doesn't sound like we're going to get it tonight.
You watching the Olympics? Basketball's on yesterday. We're trying to win by 20. I didn't catch that.
Is that the over-under?
No. Apparently, if you win by 20, you get an extra point in your pool play, and it has something to do with, with how you advance into the medal rounds or something. So they were trying, they were doing all they could to get some points there at the end of the game. All right, that's where we begin today here on the Morning Rush. Your thoughts and text and calls and all of that coming up. Brought to you by our friends at Joe's Grill and Cantina. It is Throwback Thursday. They have a big, huge honking Cuco's platter today that will be on special. When you get there, it'll be on the chalkboard. It's kind of a throwback platter. Plenty of food, probably a feed you and a to-go box. Tomorrow is Fajita Friday. All the fajitas on discount for Friday. And then Saturday is endless enchiladas. All the enchiladas inside you can eat for $15. Joe's Grill and Cantina, South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Follow the show on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine.
This is former Razorback, wide receiver, and All-American track and field athlete Richard Smith, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
3 for 3 beyond the arc.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hotline, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Tommy, Ty, Chuck, thank you guys for your support, and go Hogs.
36 on the Arkansas 34. Buddy Benson in the tailback spot. Benson rolls out to the left side. Has beautiful protection, lots of time, fires a long pass down the field. Carpenter's got it. He's back in front of the reaching down the sidelines, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Can you tell me what that play was? Colton pulled that from the archives way back in the day.
I'm sorry. I was just putting my headphones on. I didn't hear the whole thing. I knew it was. I could tell just by listening to the audio it was 50s or 1950s or 60s.
Never mind.
It was 1954, the Powder River play.
That was going to be my guess because the most famous call that would have been from that era would have had to have been the Powder River play. So, and can you name any player that was involved in the...
Clay has talked about it, and again, it was unfortunate when he didn't join us yesterday. I have heard him discuss that particular play. I just can't. You might have to light
Buddy Bob Benson, the late great. If I've got my facts, remember we're going back, 70 years, but I'm pretty sure he was one. And if you have any kind of association with Washington Tiger football, you would recognize that name from there.
Well.
I believe I'm right on that.
There's some of you, I would say a very select few, that maybe remember that play. But if
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
I don't know where Colton found it, but it's a good piece of audio as we get going some football stuff this morning. Speaking of football, we got a text from Caleb in Batesville. There was an epic showdown and battle last night between our own Big C and Zach Arns, and it went to the good guys, and we'll tell you about that. Or I say we. I'll let Christian tell you about that coming up.
Do we have divided lines here under our own roof? Or are we not all in the same team?
No, not a competition. Show competition.
All right. Hey, Bet Saracen, busy time right now. The Olympics going on. College football, days away now. We're inside a month, so obviously days away. It's all there for you with the Bet Saracen app. And in fact, you could probably find, and I'm looking right now, just open the app. And it's updating right now, so they got constant updates on there. But Olympic sports, medal counts, everything's there for this week that you might want, for the next few weeks. I know there's a lot going on with that. Major League Baseball, of course, in full force. Some of you out there love the UFC, and they've got some UFC action. There's several big matches. Alvarez and Brenner. Is that right? I'm not a UFC guy, but I noticed that right away on their deal. So it's all there for you. Special bets, live in-game betting, all with the Bet Saracen app. 7 out of $10 used on mobile betting apps in Arkansas go through the Bet Saracen app for that very reason. That's Bet Saracen. Go to BetSaracen.com.
It was with great pleasure that I would like to congratulate our buddy Christian Johnson on a what victory last night? What was the final score?
45-31.
Right. Round of applause for our guy, Big C. 45-31. And apparently he was waxing Zach for a little bit, and then you let him back into it out of pity, I would assume, right?
I got conservative. It was 35-10. I was comfortably ahead, and then I didn't want to force anything because I did respect him. He's a good opponent. I didn't want to.
Did he have a problem with his controller?
I didn't want to let him back.
Usually when I lose on these, when I was a kid, there was something wrong with my controller. It was sticking. Button wouldn't work. I mean,
he's the tool, not the
exactly. That's generally what the problem was when 40 years ago when I was gaming.
Something about I think
internet was slow.
He's used to PlayStation, so he hit a wrong button one time. But I can kind of understand that. And then there was
it's probably worth 3 or 4 touchdowns there that one time.
And he said there was a little lag on one play, a pick six, but other than that, I mean, it was. Look, I made all the plays I needed to make.
He's old and he's in his mid-50s. His reaction time's just not as quick as yours. When
there's
you get in your
mid-50s. Some truth to that.
There's probably some truth to that.
45-31 with what you said, 35-10 lead at one point.
Yeah, he actually led 3-0 first.
Okay,
and I was like, okay, he put together a nice opening drive. He really did, and then it just kind of.
And then you pretty much hung 5 straight touchdowns, with the exception of him scoring 1.
Yeah, it was a beating.
So Caleb, that is the answer to your question.
So was your wife there to daub your forehead with a towel? Maybe bring you some Gatorade in between quarters. I mean,
I wanted them to.
Who was keeping you refreshed throughout?
I wanted
this
everybody in my household quiet because I needed to focus, and that went to my advantage because it helped me.
Okay, paid off. Asher wasn't yapping in the background.
No, that could have really messed things up if he was acting like acting like that. I'm not going to lie. But
Ben in Little Rock wants to know the two teams, Christian, who you played with and then who Zach played with.
I was Alabama. He was Notre Dame. So it was pretty. It was pretty even.
Well, no wonder it went that way. I mean, it's just like real life.
Yeah.
And Alabama plays Notre Dame. Wow, this game is a reality game.
But I told him I will play him again, and I'll pick any other team I need to pick. But he wants me to keep getting Alabama because he said I have a good system with them. So we'll have to see about that. But I think there will be more games in the future.
JT says, Christian, you're weak. You should have hung him on 70 on him. Show him no mercy.
I actually took a
time.
knee at the end of the game.
Wow. So it was like
Good for
Arkansas
you.
and Texas in the 2014 Texas Bowl where Arkansas could have scored late. And I guess it was the LSU game years ago when they could have scored late and they elected to take a knee. Listen, you showed him mercy. You showed him compassion. And for a guy his age, that's probably the proper way to
I really didn't
go
want.
about.
I didn't want to have one of my fellow employees just literally like mad at me because I ran the score up.
Caleb says now you need to do it with Arkansas. You need to run up the score with Arkansas.
I will play with Arkansas.
Which that's an actual game next year in 2025.
Good
We
point.
actually get to take that in this next season in Razorback
They don't
Stadium.
chicken out again.
I think I could hold my own with Arkansas.
So congratulations to Big C and his win yesterday or last night. Hopefully there are many more of those. He was doing it for the morning rush in halftime. Bruskin and Zach, they're still licking their wounds after last night. Well, we had a chance to hear from Coach Pittman yesterday, a couple players as well. But one of the things that I wanted to discuss was Casey Dick, who joined us on the program 7 o'clock in hour number 2. And he gave some thoughts and perspectives on what your quarterback, Taylon Green, brings to the table this year.
You know, obviously got a really live arm. You know, his physical presence is better and bigger than what I believe a lot of people give him credit for. He's close to 6'7", if not all of it. You know, just really, really long and lean and really well put together. And obviously has a lot of athletic ability back there to move around, create plays. And defenses are going to have to be able to account for him in the run game. And when defenses have to account for him in the run game because of his ability that he has, it forces everybody to play just a little bit differently.
We talked about he said the word differently at the end. Taylon's a different quarterback than KJ Jefferson. He's obviously under a different offensive coordinator. One of the things I'm curious about is just like the initial things that you may see. He's going to have some things that he doesn't do as well. You mentioned shedding tackles. Like KJ was awesome at that the last couple of years. Taylon's just not going to be as good at that. But there are going to be straight line runs that he has that he's just faster than KJ. And there's positives and negatives, and I'm curious to see which ones outweigh the others, especially in the first meaningful game in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
I mean, there's nothing new about trying to make a guy miss, and when you do, it might be worth an extra first down or 15, 20 yards. So, I mean, that's the kind of speed and elusiveness you need from your quarterback. Hey, the Inn at the Mill, it's the place we stay in Northwest Arkansas when we need a room. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49. It's got unique features, oversized suites, the water properties that are right there. You're going to really enjoy staying at the Inn at the Mill. You'll love the personal touch from their staff as well. So whether you're in town for a game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a long weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a clean room waiting for you. 479-443-1800 or find them online at inatthemill.com.
All right, we'll talk to Chuck, and we're going to hear from Coach Pittman when we return on a Too Stupid Thursday.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Hey, this is Bobby Carpenter with ESPN Radio, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope.
TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the Morning Rush.
Arkansas was awesome to play at, man. Bob Walker Stadium goes off.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we've got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go. Right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crickhopper.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You walk into teams' football stadiums and you see the statues and you see all the historically significant events with some kind of monument to them. And that stuff, can be intimidating, even when the stadium's empty. And you can kind of imagine what it's like when it's full. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but I can tell you there are stadiums out there. Hey, you walk across the field at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge when it's empty. I don't care if it's full or empty. It's a little bit intimidating down there.
That was one of the cool things last year, is getting to go on the field at these different away venues and kind of take it in from the sidelines. Chuck's with us now. We've got some thoughts on Sam Pittman, and I'll get his reaction to Big C beating Zach in NCAA last night, too.
Yeah, big victory.
Maybe the story of the night.
Big victory for the morning guys over the afternoon guys last night. Hey, brought to you by Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. If you want a customized golf cart for you and your family to enjoy in your neighborhood, maybe getting to the pool or the tennis courts or the amenities in your subdivision, or you need one for the golf course because you like the comfort and the convenience of having your cart, never have to drag your clubs out of your trunk again, never have to mess with that. All your stuff's there, your range finders, your gloves are hanging from your Velcro pieces you can put up, and all the things I enjoy with my custom cart from Arkansas Golf and Power Sports, then you can have yours next. And here's the thing with Ben and Chris and the crew is they can fully customize your cart with customized wheels and tires, customized seats. I had some red, gray, and it's got some white piping, and it's got Razorbacks in the headrest on the seats, so you can go any way you want. Want a company logo, you want a Razorback on it like I did. They can do lights, speakers. I mean, you name it. Just your imagination might be the only thing that limits what you can get. Golf, Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. They're in Fayetteville, just off the Garland exit on North McConnell, right behind the rental store. They're in Fayetteville as well. And see exactly what I'm talking about online at arpowersports.com.
Chuck, I know you're going to go on with the afternoon guys today. Make sure you let Zach know how last night's outcome went against Big C.
If I remember right, Zach's claim was he never lost in his entire life.
That's what he said.
I mean, he was like life and O. And Big C knocks him off.
Knocks him off the proposed pedestal. It was like,
what was the score?
45-31,
yeah,
right?
45-31.
Like a real winner.
45-31.
There you go.
Wow.
And he was up 35-10, Chuck, during the course
Did you
of
talk trash, Big C? Did you talk trash to him?
No, we.
That's half the fun of winning.
I know.
He's too humble, man.
I can't.
All
I
the
get
fun of
distracted.
winning.
I get distracted when I'm talking trash. Like I can't
Well,
focus.
you're up 35-10.
I got to. Yeah, I kind of took the foot off the gas a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but
Well, congratulations, man.
Yeah. Life-altering win.
I mean, monumental. I'm sorry.
I didn't realize how realistic these games are. It was Alabama versus Notre Dame on the game. I mean, that's pretty much how it has turned out in real life. When
Zach was Notre Dame?
Yeah, Zach was Notre Dame. So 35-10 is about a normal Alabama-Notre Dame game. So nothing unrealistic about that one.
C could have taken Notre Dame, and he'd have beaten Zach with Alabama.
That would be. That should be the next game.
we can do that
Next game.
Yeah.
Knock him off.
Hey, you're not scared, are you?
No, I'm not.
Well,
I'll take yours and beat mine.
Big C, I'm learning. He's got a quiet confidence about him over here.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I heard him bragging about eating that Monster Burger.
Not a boy. Well, it's August. We officially have football this month. People have started to print out rosters, starting to look at them a little more. Chuck, yesterday to me, I don't know how you guys took in Sam Pittman's 15 minutes last night, but it was kind of like a reintroduction to his roster of guys that we haven't even seen yet until yesterday. I mean, there's double-digit guys that are for the first time practicing with this football team. We're going to get into a few of them summing up, but is that kind of what y'all took away, the main talking point of his discussion last night? Because I sure did.
Lots of new guys, and I think annually, after the first day of practice, coaches are going to talk about players that many of us have not heard about before. Mm-hmm. I'd heard most of the names, at least the ones that were around in the spring, because we did the spring game. But if they've come in since then, they're all new to me too. And the thing that I was struck by, I can recall sitting down with Coach Pittman before the spring game, his command of all those new guys, all the guys that, had their names mentioned yesterday for the first time. But, they back then, you got to remember, they were about 2.5, 3 months into this thing.
Yeah.
And, they knew then, or at least they had an idea then about who might be able to play for them and who might not. And I got to admit, some of the names that I can recall some of the names we went over that day were first-timers for me, and I'm sure it's even more so that way now.
Pardon me, quick sidebar, quick rabbit hole. Is that an underrated skill a coach has, is having the off-the-top, no-notes ability to talk about any of his 85 players in detail? Because I'm going to be honest, if we had 100 people on our work roster here and then you had extra support staff and there was like 200 people, and being able to on the fly talk in detail about each and every one and what they bring to the table, where they're at, what year they're at, all those details, that would be a challenge. I think that's an underrated skill for a head coach.
I think most of them can do it. I just don't think we ever hear it.
Yeah.
We're not privy to it.
Well, I mean,
that's just as honest as I can be. But I think most all of them have that type recall.
Because I think we do
it's a
hear
job requirement.
It's a job requirement, and we do hear it in press conference settings or in Razorback Club type settings. I've seen, Pittman and his predecessors of his get up with no notes and go through their roster. And I just think that's an underrated skill. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to distract, but you were talking about having command of his players and the names and being able to go through that. I think that's harder than we think. And that means
that's a lot of guys to keep up with. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But you're the head coach of the football team.
It's your job.
You should know about your team.
Yeah.
So I'm not belittling the skill. It is a skill. It's
Anyway.
a skill I don't have. I can promise you that. But those guys spend a lot of time with one another. I mean, a lot of time.
Well, don't sell yourself short, because, I'll listen to a full broadcast and snap your fingers. You can tell me where a kid's, and you're not looking this up, you can tell me where a kid's from. You can tell me what year he is off the cuff. So I don't need to sell yourself short on that.
There's the reason he has a spotting board, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to derail your conversation.
I think that was fun. But I knew these guys were on the roster, but now Pittman's talking more about them. Like, for example, everyone wants to know about the linebackers. You lose Jaheim Thomas, you lose Chris Paul, Crook, and another one or two. And you're saying, hey, who's going to fill that role? Well, he brings up Anthony Switzer, Utah State, and Larry Worth, Jacksonville State, yesterday. And here's what he said about those guys, kind of being interchangeable, not just playing linebacker, but maybe a little DB too.
Part of it is where we need guys. The other part of it is that Worth has so much speed that, he could play inside, he could play outside. We're trying to see, and we probably will switch that maybe after 2 or 3 days to see. But Switzer looked really good inside today. Really good. Looked unafraid, very aggressive. Obviously, we don't have pads on, but still, in pads or out of pads, you're going to find out a little bit about the guy's aggressiveness and his ability, his physicality. So I kind of like where he's at in there.
So those are two guys you're going to hear about in the coming weeks. Don't know how much they'll play. You made a good point earlier. Just because you hear about a guy in fall camp doesn't mean they're going to play a lot. There have been practice players over the years, football, basketball, baseball, but he spoke about them 2 or 3 times yesterday.
Well, you think about the guys that played well early on last year, Thomas and Greer. Those guys were transfers that came in and played at that linebacker spot. These guys may be those type players too. I tend to believe that Sorey and Spence are going to be your front liners, and Dean and Sanford are both back, and they've liked those guys. Particularly Sanford. I think they feel like he can play there, and so and you add these two guys into the mix. So you've got some real possibilities there now. And a lot of people, as you mentioned, people have wondered, what are you going to do there? This is the second year in a row where that position is going to be, I won't say dominated, but the guys out there are going to be guys that didn't play here last year, at least in a large degree. And so it's the second year in a row in that position group it's like that.
And you mentioned a couple guys there again, Carson Dean, Alex Sanford, Xavier Sorey, and Brad Spence. Coach kind of lumped them all in together yesterday when speaking more about linebackers.
We like Sanford and Dean coming out of camp. Sorey is coming into his own. He really can run. Got a smile on his face all the time. I think he knows what he's doing, so he can play a little bit faster. He really shot some gaps today and looked really good doing that. Brad, we were moving him up on the ball as a Sam. Anytime they go bigger than 11 personnel, we're keeping him in the box right now. So we'll see how that works for us. But again, I think he's the same way. You go from a freshman to a sophomore, you should get better in your confidence, your body, and all that. And I feel like he has.
I've heard a lot of good things about Brad Spence, not just from Sam Pittman, but also some other people that have taken in a practice or two. I'm hoping he pans out. Guys, I don't know if you made this comparison, maybe not by skill set, but Sorey to me is comparable to Drew Sanders, where he played in an elite program. Sanders, of course, for Alabama, Tavion Sorey for Georgia. Couldn't necessarily, I think, you had Sanders get injured. I don't think Sorey was injured. Maybe I'm wrong, but five-star kid just couldn't get on the field.
Couldn't crack a talented lineup.
Then you come to Arkansas. You're not an instantaneous starter, but it sure sounds like that he's going to be one of those guys that are going to start this fall. That's the comparison I see from those two.
Well, we'll have to see him play. You know, that's the ultimate comparison there. You're right in that they both came from programs that had done very well, and they were highly recruited out of high school. And when you're competing against five stars in practice every day, it's a little bit harder to crack the starting lineup. And so that's where Alabama and Georgia have been. It's where they are. So, yes, there's a comparison from that standpoint. But we're going to have to see him play. I'll say this, if he plays like Drew Sanders, that's a jackpot hit because Sanders was a heck of a player.
But to your point, there's 7, not counting the nickel guys, if you put Switzer over there at the nickel, but – just counting, Soyworth, Dix, and Bradley Shaw, there's 4 of the 7 guys that are listed at either middle or weak side linebacker that are new. So out of 7, you got 4, so that's more than half, and that's not counting your nickels.
Well, and I do wonder if the Switzer kid will move over to nickel. I don't know if he will or he won't, but I do wonder if that's going to happen. When you think about the way college football is played right now, you can only have generally 2 linebackers on the field. You're playing with 5 defensive backs most snaps. So I'm not saying that you have enough. I'm not saying you can ever have enough, but in a lot of games, 2 or 3 guys are going to get the vast majority of your snaps, with the 4th getting some. So it sounds, again, like they've got a lot of possibilities there. Maybe out of that group they can find 3 or 4 who can really play.
I remember Dre Greenlaw was a safety in high school, and then they moved him to linebacker. I don't know if it was out of necessity or it was better skill set, but certain guys transition well. He would be a prototypical example of a guy that was doing that. With Ward,
well, they have to have the type body that allows him to put on weight.
And you're right.
And Dre was built, low to the ground by comparison. He had a body on which you could put weight. You've got to have a physical build that allows you to do that.
And
moving from the back to the front 7.
Yeah, and then if you're going from like a linebacker to maybe a nickel position like maybe Worth does, you've got to have the speed. And Sam Pittman, as you heard, kind of touched on that a little bit. You mentioned Bradley Shaw, so that was a kid that Arkansas, Clemson. Where's the kid going? Winds up there. That was a big get. That was like if they land Tavion and forget Wallace, the kid from Jessup, Georgia, he's that equivalent type of player. Tavion actually is going to be higher ranked than him. But you get him from Hoover, Alabama. You bring him in, and kind of first time seeing him. You also got an in-state kid, Searcy, Arkansas, Wyatt Simmons. You had 2 guys that really made a massive impact last year as freshmen, Lucas and Jalen Braxton. We'll see if these guys, here's what he said about those 2 freshmen and what they've done so far.
I saw both of them flash. Bradley moved up to the one field some, especially when the offense goes into 12. We're in Penny when the offense goes into 12 personnel. He played a little bit more down on the field that I was on. I got a bad hip, so I didn't spend a whole lot of time on the other field. But I thought he flashed, and Wyatt, I'll have to wait and watch the tape to see that.
To me, with the linebacker, you mentioned the number of linebackers that they had to bring in, new positions. Does that make it, I think it makes it easier for a freshman to maybe play a little bit. Not necessarily start, but just play with so many new guys around. And again, Bradley Shaw, really high recruited kid. I think he was the number 1 recruit, if not number 2 in this class. Could he be a guy like Jalen Braxton or Luke has that has a significant impact on this football team? Something I've wondered about as he's been discussed.
Probably too early to tell, but apparently caught the eye at least. Coach used the word flash of in one unpadded practice. I don't know that we can declare anything, but he is the next next 2 to 3 weeks, probably going to give you an idea of if that's a possibility. And, Chuck, another thing is, as we've been doing for, I don't know, what's it been, 4 or 5 years where redshirt or freshman can redshirt, or any player can redshirt if they play in 4 games or less. He could maybe fit in that category where you see him in a few games, but retains that redshirt.
You may see some guys play against UAPB that you don't see play again remainder of the year, freshmen and otherwise, quite honestly. Here's the thing about preseason ball. You're going to hear names, and coach is going to talk about how somebody had a good day. And everybody that follows it, us included, we're going to wonder if, maybe this guy can crack the rotation. Well, the key in all this in cracking the rotation is not just doing it one day, but doing it 6-7 days in a row, doing it every day, doing it to the point where it's so expected that they don't go into the post-practice press conference talking about you because it's not novel anymore. Those are the guys that play.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to do it every day, and I'm not knocking anything that anyone says about any of these players, but let's see where we are 3 weeks from now.
Well, and people were talking, I guess the highlight of the practice and what people got to see was Broden's catch, right? Everybody was, but as coaches, I mean, they go back and they look at the entire practice film. Well, what routes did he miss? What assignments did he, what block did he not? I don't know. I'm not saying he did, but, we focus on the one highlight play, and no one talks about, he didn't run that route right over there about 3 plays later.
Well, you should focus on the good plays, and I am encouraged because I do think that Broden, particularly in scoring situations, can be even more valuable than he's been. But certainly there's a lot to coach. But you make mistakes in games.
Right.
You don't play a perfect game. Can you make the big play in the big moment? But you're right. I mean, I'm sure there are lots of things they went back on and worked on with him.
The point I was trying to drive at is coaches evaluate every snap of every practice, to figure out who they can trust and put on the field. We as observers focus on one highlight play and think that that's what rises or makes them rise the depth chart. And that's not how coaches evaluate, is off one highlight play.
Yeah, no. Broden, for example, last season, I mean, he did this.
I saw him and,
well, actually, I thought that was a highlight clip. He had the Florida game-winning touchdown, and it was awesome. It was great. Beat Gators for the first time in the Swamp. But he only had 100 and something yards last year. I think 15 catches, 3 TDs. Which I'm hoping expands on that, but yeah, you want that to be consistent like you're talking about.
But that's an entire offense thing there. That's not a Tyrone Broden issue. They couldn't block. There wasn't anybody that was getting passes.
No, you're right.
So I wouldn't put that on Broden.
Yeah. Hey, summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like the Rebel Crick Hopper. Twitch it, pop it, walk it, swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crick Hopper works great in tandem with a light spinning rod and reel, 4, maybe 6-pound line, and you can find the Crick Hopper at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores everywhere. Look for it by name, the Rebel Crick Hopper.
All right, before we move on to Cal, I do want to mention, again, Coach Pittman cracked a smile or two yesterday in the press conference. There was a phone incident that we'll get into coming up, but he was happy with the catch. And if you haven't seen it, it's on Tom's Twitter feed. He joins us in 40 minutes.
Broden caught a heck of a pass, a one-handed grab early in practice. I thought it was pretty special. I think we've all been to practice. Somebody makes a play like that, and not a whole lot. It's just they don't like the guy, or they just like, when are we going to get out of practice? And there's a whole bunch of guys ran in, including Taylor, ran down there and patted him on the back. So it was a heck of a play, and I look forward to many more of those.
There'll be other plays, and we'll keep you updated on what's going on at practice all across, not just the morning rush, but halftime. And Ruskin and Zach. The dynamic of basketball and football right now to me is interesting. You got one program that's taking a break in basketball. You just had Cal speak on Monday. He talked about, again, taking a breather for a little bit, going to Jersey, I think he said, Tommy. Football, of course, starting up. Cal was talking on Monday, Chuck. He mentioned a variety of things. I think one of the biggest things he mentioned, we'll get in more of what he said about Trevin Brazil and a couple other guys coming up, but it's the schedule. Kansas sounds like you're getting an exhibition game in Bud Walton Arena, TCU exhibition game in Dallas, and then maybe another potential Dallas game as well. You already had a pretty loaded schedule, and now you added 2 more kind of in the preseason of sorts.
Yeah, I don't know if those are completely worked out yet, all of them, but it certainly sounds like he felt good enough about him to say it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't know when yet. They are exhibition games, or at least one or 2 of them would be. But yeah, that would be fun.
Be a lot of again to have tickets in Bud Walton Arena this year. Probably gonna have to pay separate for charity kids. I do think, and you mentioned it was a couple years ago that they decided that the charity basketball it just had to. You could schedule the game, but it had to be for charity purposes, correct?
Proceeds have to go to charity. I think the school can keep so much to, put the event on, the venue and that type of thing, the staff it takes. But you can have closed-door scrimmages with other schools, or you can do it this way with an open exhibition. So, it's really, it's obviously the coach's choice on what they think is best for their team. The closed-door scrimmages you never hear about. You just don't even know they happen. So, and they happen all the time in college basketball.
My dad is a Baylor basketball fan. There was a closed-door scrimmage between the Bears and the Gonzaga Bulldogs, and on his message boards, it was like, well, this happened, but no one actually saw it. Yeah. So it's like that.
You usually find out if those have happened later in the year, particularly if one of them has success. You'll find out that it happened. But no, I don't know how much of that, and we kind of talked about this last year, that moving forward, these open exhibition games with the proceeds going to charity are big deals. I wonder when you're going to have exhibition games with proceeds going to NIL. You think that might happen?
Well, you got that tournament in Vegas, Chuck. It's not an exhibition game, but that is you're 100% right.
Well, all they got to do is change the rule. Instead of charity, well, it's our charity.
It's charity for this, and I don't know if you split that between the 2 schools or if it just goes to the home team or how you go about doing that. But yeah, I think you're right, Chuck. I think you're onto something there. It's coming. Any way that they can get money back to NIL is coming. I don't know, and I don't know this because
I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
Yeah,
that just popped in my head.
You think those Razorback Nuggets portion of those proceeds go to
Well, they should do it in football, but the problem is there would be a school somewhere that'd fire their coach after a preseason scrimmage benefiting NIL. A coach would get fired. So they ought to do it in football. That's where you could at certain programs really raise some money.
I know occasionally I jump the gun on certain things. I will promise, cross my heart.
Occasionally?
Occasionally. I was waiting on that. I will promise if Arkansas beats Kansas, if this exhibition game comes to fruition and Arkansas beats Kansas, I will not be as boisterous about the basketball team as I was, say, after they maybe beat Purdue last year. I'll
go a step further. I hope they lose the game in an exhibition because
then
we saw how it worked last year. So anyway, I mean, it's an exhibition. At the end of the day, that we saw what it counted for last year. All right, hour 2 coming up. Hey, do you have what it takes to win the football trip of a lifetime? Our own Big C might. He ate one of those monster burgers in less than 150 seconds. We'll have 2 more qualifiers coming up next week. Your chance to win a seat at the finals table so you could take home that trip to see the Cowboys and the Eagles. It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime, brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
All right, when we return, Andrew Benintendi had a hit yesterday, yet the White Sox still lost. There's an epic rant on Chicago sports radio we'll get into, plus what the heck's going on with the White Sox? That's next.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479 Stadium or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them gram things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This is the Morning Rush.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the upper 90s with a heat index approaching 112. Chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm early tonight, especially across the north. Overnight lows in the middle 70s. And then another slight chance of showers or storms on Friday, a high in the middle to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 28 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
I've watched you, January and February, work your tails off. Come together as a team. I watched you in March and April during spring practice work your tails off and come together even more as a team as leaders were developing on that field. And I saw you the last 8 weeks working your tails off.
Family motivates me. We're getting ready to make us better for the next 20 days. That's what we're getting ready to do. Everybody with me? Appreciate you. Let's go to battle tomorrow. Remember, let's have a tough-ass football team.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
It's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a Too Stupid Thursday. You heard your athletics director, Hunter Yurchek, Sam Pittman, talking about practice in this upcoming season. Just 28 days. We're in August now. Football begins this month. You play UAPB on August the 29th, 6:30 in Little Rock, as they've put out this week, Under the Lights, and then you'll follow it up with the boys in Stillwater, Oklahoma. We got plenty more football to discuss, Sam Pittman and others, but I do want to discuss what's going on with the Chicago White Sox, and they're on the brink of MLB history, but the wrong side of MLB history.
What'd you say, 29 days from now? You know, football season. 28 days, football season almost here. You can download the Oakland Sports app in the Apple Store or Google Play Store. Get in on all the football action, futures, outright winners, spreads, totals. Got the Hall of Fame game coming up, player props, game props. I mean, I could keep going. All right, set up your account, make your deposit. You can use your debit or credit card, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, ACH. If you're at Oakland, you can put cash in or out. Any of those make it easy to get your money back or put more money in. Make your first bet of at least $10 up to $250. And if your first bet doesn't pan out, they'll bonus you a bet valued of equal value of that bet up to $250. Hey, Oakland Sports, it's the brand you know, the name you know. You've known it for years. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with a brand you trust. Bet with Oakland Sports.
You guys going to slap some bets on the Hall of Fame game tonight? Bears, Texans.
The bet might be whether or not I stay up to watch all of it.
What's the line tonight on the Hall of Fame game?
Ooh, you just had the app up. I'll figure it out for you in just a bit. I'm going to guess that the Texans are going to be favored, but I don't know that to be fact. I think it is in Chicago, but again, that's tonight. Football is upon us. It's August, baby. Can't wait. But for now, let's talk some baseball. So, Andrew Benintendi is a Chicago White Sox, and he's had a decent year.
And Andrew Benintendi DHing today. Sends this one down the line in right field, and then a drop fair. Sheets is waved in. He will score. Sosa, he's being waved in. And he will score.
So it's 3-2 White Sox at that juncture. They lose 10-3. Guys, they have lost 17 straight games. They're sitting at 27-84 on the season. That's 12 less wins than the next team, the Colorado Rockies, who have 39 wins this year. Ryan in Prairie Grove puts it eloquently. They suck. Talking about Chicago. The longest losing streak in the MLB in the modern era is 23 games by the 1961 Philadelphia Phillies. Another one is the Baltimore Orioles in 1988, 21 losses. Now, this has caused some discomfort in Chicago. We know that the Cubs are the bigger franchise in that city, but there's still a lot of White Sox fans, including, it sounds like, this one Chicago radio host who went berserk.
Everybody on the White Sox is a freaking weasel. Stop being weasels. You have the general manager saying, oh, I would trade this guy, but he's hurtful to me, and I don't know. Really, I'm really taken aback, and I couldn't do this. So that's, I would have loved to have done this and this and this, but I really can't because he and his agents, they talked about things that I didn't think they were going to talk about. And then the manager, not going to be my fault. You bastards better play better. Batting practice, go around. It's not going to be me. I mean, how obtuse, how unaware.
So he keeps on going for a while now. Guys, I think they might hit it. I think they might do it this year. Have you guys watched any White Sox? They are awful. And I love Andrew Benintendi, but they are horrible. I think they've got a realistic chance to hit the longest losing streak.
I would enjoy it a lot better if my Cubs were any good, but I can't enjoy the White Sox being bad because, and I want them to be good for Hagen Smith. I want him to be on a good team, but at least for this year, yeah, they're awful.
If your question is, have I sat down and watched the White Sox? The answer is no. That's not exactly a appointment TV, but it's baseball. And generally, streaks, there's a reason they're historical and last a long time. Good ones and bad ones like this is because, in baseball, any given day, anything can happen. And so my guess is they won't break that streak, Chuck.
Well, I don't know if they'll break the actual losing streak or not, but the bigger question to me is how many games do they end up losing overall this season? I think that's a record that they could break. I mean, they're on a pace to lose around 120 games. I could see them, struggling to get to 40. And they play 162 games. So, you can do the simple math there. So, to me, that's the bigger question. Odds are they'll win a game, but and not get to the streak. But the overall losses just are incredible right now.
Here's apparently the Robin Conway said the '88 Orioles opened up the season 0-21.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was
that.
the beginning of the season. They have 6 straight road games. They play in Minnesota and then they go to Oakland. So that's why.
Well, when you're 27-84, you can play in the backyard. There's a pretty good chance you're going to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter if they're in Chicago or Boston or wherever. There's a pretty good shot they're going to lose.
I can't imagine being a fan of an MLB team that loses 21 straight games to start the season. That is tough. All right, let's switch the tone a little bit. Eddie in Clarksville has dialed us in this morning on our hotline. You can do so 877-377-6963. What's up, Eddie?
Good morning to the morning rush in this great fan base. 28 days, the countdown has truly begun, and I'm getting ready. And, I woke up early this morning, Chuck, and I was listening. I put on, Coach T. Will, and his rap bars, they get me extra pumped up. I mean, the team is ready. Fan base, I'm asking this morning, are you ready? Because I've got a good feeling. It's going through my body right now. We're going to have a good season. We're going to get off to a fast start. And I'm going to leave you with this morning. Woo! I'm getting pumped now, baby. When you talk about why am I optimistic? Well, let's just say we got some dudes on that defensive line. Our offensive line is going to be better. And I said the other day, we got the best play caller in the country. And we got a mobile, athletic team, a quarterback, and we got, they're pumped and ready to go. So I'm asking you this morning, are you ready? And this young MC said, and this son, I said the other day, bust a move. Now, go bust a move and get to that quarterback and put him on his rear end. I'll tell you this, too. We're going to run the football this year. We got a little bit more speed in the offense. I mean, what would you get pumped? And we're going to be better on the offensive line. And let me say this, we're a 100 team. And I remember in 78, nobody picked us to do nothing, Chuck. And I remember that vividly. First year head coach, Blue Host. What did we do? Woo! We rolled up, went to the Arsenal, baby. Let me say this. I'm not not saying we're going to be in a college football playoffs, but we're going to be in every game. And this is the first year. Here's the most important thing. You know, I looked at this schedule, first 6. You know, there's no Alabama. There's no Georgia. This is the easiest. I'm not saying it's a cupcake schedule. It's the easiest schedule we've had in over really a decade that's not in the top 5. And let me say this. Woo, you got a hungry team. So I'm going to leave you with this. Come, woo, in Little Rock, Arkansas. That bell's starting to ring, and they're going to answer it, and we're going to go to Stillwater. And then, you know, be saying this after that game. As I said the other day, we're 30-15-1 against the Cowboys. If you've never seen that series, let me say this. That's going to be a barn burner, and we're going to set the pace. Woo! We're going to get up to a fast start. And put that in your coffee this morning. Stir it up. I'll leave you with this one more thing. Whoa, there it is.
I've just got this image of Eddie listening to rap music in his house at 6 o'clock in the morning. Because as we all know, there's nothing better than a middle-aged white guy singing rap. You know, testing his hip-hop skills right around daylight. It's nothing like that.
Need a T-Will and Eddie combination.
See, Eddie's got every time he does the Ric Flair woo, you can tell Eddie's probably moves the phone away from his mouth so he doesn't distort and blow it. Eddie's got it figured out because the over-under is about 6.5 woos every time he calls. So
well, you can tell how really into it he is by the quality of the woo. I mean, if the voice cracks, you know, Eddie's just kind of here. But when he does 5 or 6 like he did just now and hits it just right, I mean, came to play.
Yeah.
And Eddie's not the only one that said positive things about the Arkansas defensive line. We had Chuck Oliver on yesterday morning. He said similar things. Phil Steele liked the Arkansas defensive line. You lose a couple guys from last year, but I mean, you got Landon Jackson. I'm excited to see the freshman Charlie Collins to see if he plays much. But that is a position group. You might not be as deep as you were last year, but you should still be solid there. That was just one of the strengths of the team.
All right, our Morning Rush Daily questions coming up. And, guys, I'm going to give it to you before the break so you can think about it. It's going to be a little bit of an Olympic question this morning. We're brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley are there. In fact, they're bringing Brinkley's to Fort Smith soon. That'll be early 2025, so we'll be telling you more about that at Wheels RV. But lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell, award-winning service, and just downright friendly folks. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV. All right, you can text in your response to this question, and guys, I'll give you the break to think about it. If blank was an Olympic sport, I would be a gold medalist.
Oh, I know the answer.
We'll get Chuck and Ty's response, and we'll do all of that coming up next on The Morning Rush.
Follow us on Twitter at Ty Sports Radio and at Tommy Craft ESPN.
Hey, this is Colt Kubelik with ESPN and WJOX, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hi, that's the $1 million question. This is the Morning Rush.
Get up to $6,500 off on 2024 GMC Sierras or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 has a 5.3-liter.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One.
Judge, the court will wait for an answer.
All right, teased it before the break. If blank was an Olympic sport, I'd be a gold medalist at it. You can text in what you think you'd be really good at. 877-377-6963. If blank was an Olympic sport, Ty, what would you gold medal in?
You know, I took 5 minutes to think about this, and I got to be honest, I'm not elite in anything. So, just being
golf.
I'm not elite in golf. I'm not elite in anything.
No, he's not elite in golf.
In anything. So, I don't even think I could place on a single attribute that I have.
Well,
sports related.
If butchering the English language was a sport, I think you'd be right there.
I would gold
Big C, don't blow that. Big C blew his Coke out his nose there.
Yes, if you want to say that, that's
Coca-Cola, I should say.
That would be a gold medal recipient of not knowing how to speak English as a sports radio host.
You'd at least podium. We'd say that.
I like itinerary planning. I guess that would be. I don't know how
itinerary planning.
Yeah,
that's a skill.
I've got some characteristics that some might deem feminine that, as a male, I have. So,
like what?
Well, that I would think the
His
itinerary
hair.
plan, the hair, other things.
How much
but
product?
Hair, if hair,
spend
if
on
hair
that?
not a
care-
drop.
If hair care was an
Really?
Olympic sport, you'd be a medalist.
This is all natural, Chuck.
Being on
Really?
time to work.
There's
That's
the-
what it is.
You
hey,
don't have to have anything.
BE's got it. If
Oh.
attending weddings was an Olympic sport,
Oh yeah.
That's a great one.
dude, you'd be doing the national
Ding,
anthem.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Found a winner. 40 in 5 years. So that's a winner, BE.
The
Attending
Wedding
winner.
Crashers movie was based loosely on Ty's life. I don't know if a lot of people know
No,
that.
I think
20
it's the other way around. I think Ty's
Ty's
life
life is loosely based on Wedding Crashers.
Yes, you
Is
got
that
it backwards. Yeah.
My father likes to say that I'm the male version of 27 Dresses, the
Ugh.
Katherine Heigl movie. 27 suits or tuxedos. So yeah, that would be it. Yeah, butchering the English language would also be high up on the list. But let's be honest, I'm not leading anything, so just standing up on the ledge would probably not be probable or possible.
All right, Chuck, what would you gold medal in?
Well, boys, I'm just going to be honest with you. Before there were video games, there was Nerf hoop. And if Nerf hoop was an Olympic sport, I would not only have more gold than I could spend, I would be literally draped in it.
You'd be like Phelps.
Hours of misspent youth.
Now,
Hours of
is this the one that
misspent
goes over the door? You have to close the door.
Absolutely.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'm not talking about high-flying slam dunks, although I was plenty capable. But I'm talking about the ability to shoot from anywhere in the room. And I would say from the time I was, 8 until I was, let's just say my early 20s. How about that? I could kill it. I'm an old man now, so I don't think I could do it now. But we used to bet on that in college. That's what you do back then.
That's awesome. 7.
And yeah, I'd take your money all night long.
We played that so much. My dad also had a mini hoop goal set up in our garage, but our parents used to get so mad at us, Chuck, because my brother and I mean, like brothers who are 16 months apart would, competitive everything, and we would be slamming upstairs, and you could hear it echo through the house. So that is a game that is generational, and my kid, whether he wants to or not, is going to have a Nerf hoop in his bedroom, and
I
he
guess
will learn
they still
to play.
make those. I mean,
oh yeah, that's
They do, but it's not like the original ones where the rim was metal.
Yeah.
And the net you installed yourself.
Yeah.
You had to run it through the loops and all that.
Yeah.
And it never fit on the door exactly right. So you'd have to put like a paperback book or something up there to get it steady. And then you'd dunk and it'd bend and you'd have to bend it back. And those were the days, man. We had it made. We just didn't know it.
Yeah. I had, I don't know how many of those, dozens of those as a kid, because inevitably you'd break it.
Always get one.
Because you dunk. Because you're 6, 7, 8, you go in, going for the dunk, and eventually you just.
I could mimic the shooting form, the dunking form of pretty much every player in the NBA. I was 9, 10 years old at the time, and I was a high flyer in the bedroom, boys. Don't let me go. I could soar and dunk, and that's a drop for somebody's show right there. But I could do some Nerf hoop.
Big C,
I need to stop now. When I said bedroom part, I thought you talk too much. Time to stop.
Big C, would you be a gold medalist at the PlayStation?
I might be a silver medalist.
Well,
right
you
now.
did beat Zach Arns handily last night.
If that qualifies as being gold, then I'm gold. Yeah.
Listen, you're too
Defeated the
humble.
undefeated.
You're too humble to go in on how you obliterated Zach last night. It was a 35-10 deficit at one point. Zach is a bum. You whipped him up and down the field, and he should be embarrassed to come on the airwaves.
He did
from
talk
2
a
to
lot.
6.
He did talk a lot of crap. I will admit that. So if I do have a pass, if I feel
I wouldn't show my face on the show
inclined.
today if I was Zach Arns.
Well, that's why it's radio. You don't have to. So
He's on video now. So wear a mask, Zach, because you don't deserve to be shown today.
Bag
After
be
last night's performance.
Be like an early '90s Detroit Lions fan. Have a bag on your head.
Well, it's not too.
A little blue dot. Have a blue dot. Chase his head around.
Let's not forget there was plenty of Arkansas fans wearing bags over their heads about 5-6 years ago. So it transcends all different All different teams.
All right. If I was, I'm like you. I'm not the best golfer in my group, much less, I'm not gold medaling there. I mean, there's not many things that I think, I'm the best at this. But if I was going to gold medal at something, it would probably have something to do with the grill. I'd put my pork butt or a brisket up against most. So I guess it'd be something like that. But if going from 0 to 100 when someone gets in the left lane and won't move over was an Olympic sport, I'd probably be right there. Getting fired up when someone won't get out of your way and it's holding you up in traffic, that's probably my sport.
What words come out of your mouth when that happens?
Are you just trying to get me fired? Or
do you do hand gestures? I'm not asking you to flip them off. I'm just saying, do you do hand gestures?
I don't do
like
the hand
move
gesture.
over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Raise your hand up off the wheel, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't go as far as flashing my lights, but
you flash them
pretty close.
But I think about it. So
yeah,
if that was an Olympic sport, I'm gonna tell you the worst is Texas. You get to Texas, they are the worst at that.
Here's the thing: both of you have a reputation to uphold. I'm known for being a moron, so I can do whatever I want, and no one's gonna blink or think otherwise. So again, you guys have this like established. He's professional. I don't have that, so I don't care. So if I flip someone off, it's like, oh, it's just Ty that's doing that. Or if I cuss it, so it's just him. Mm-hmm. Y'all can't do that because you're too prestigious.
Is that what you do, Ty? You like
get
up on their rear and flip them off and go by.
It may have happened once or twice.
Do you really?
During the course of my driving days.
What he's saying is we have poise in the pocket. Ty just he goes down for the sack. We have poise.
No.
We stand tall in the pocket.
I don't go down for the sack. You guys make the throw. I just throw it away.
We'd all be pretty embarrassed if every time we went into a road rage it was on tape. I think we'd all be in trouble.
Oh, I'd be. It would be. It would be embarrassing. Let's just say that, to say the least. All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question.
That's a good one.
We got a lot of. We got a lot of text on that. Maybe we'll sort through that. I don't know who it was that said smoking the lefties would be his, but good for you. I guess that's legal in some states now. All right, brought to you by Farm Credit, your Morning Rush Daily Question. Hey, it's time to spruce up your existing home, or maybe you're looking to build a brand new one. Farm Credit of Western Arkansas can help you choose the right financing option that's best for you. Go to myaglender.com or drop by any of Farm Credit's 25 locations around the state and get started on building more family memories.
All right, Tom, as we welcome in our friend Mr. Murphy, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Tom, in the back of your mind, keep a topic or an event that you think you could gold medal in, but we'll start with football. Coach Pittman with us last night had a lot to say. There's double-digit guys that you're seeing for the first time in practice, and Tom, I only know you got to take in 20 minutes, but kind of give us your perspective of what you saw firsthand yesterday in the glimpse of in the first fall camp.
Well, I go back to this every time there's an opening day, whether it's spring or camp, in that the walkthroughs the NCAA allows, the study that you can do and what have you, they go out to the field and they look like they've been doing it for a while. I remember back in the days where the first day of practice, guys wouldn't know what groups they were running to, and things didn't look well-oiled. Now they look well-oiled, practiced, and I think Sam mentioned last night, we'd gone through this script, I think he said 2 or 3 times, that practice script they'd already done. So, to me, the Tyrone Broden catch right at the start during fastballs was just brilliant, and Jalen Braxton was in great position. But just a guy making a play, and they're going to need a lot of that this year. And to me, I think they have more veteran playmakers, but otherwise, they're out there in spider pads running around. So not a ton of observations of like, this guy's going to be great. But based on things that Sam Pittman and the guy said later, he likes the way Anthony Switzer ran out. This guy's been a DB, and he was playing linebacker yesterday. And he runs up and fills holes and is very, very aggressive. So between he and Larry Worth, those are the newcomers who look like they're going to start getting some playing time when the season starts at either like nickel or potentially in the linebacker rotation.
You mentioned Jalen Braxton there. He's a true freshman like Lou has that had some impact. And I know you can't make too much of day one. I think about Bradley Shaw. I think about Charlie Collins, some of the more notable guys he brought into campus. Tom, is there any freshmen that you're maybe expecting to have a role, and not just necessarily a starting role, but a significant role in this football team in 2024?
Well, it's a little bit tougher now for them, right? Because you're bringing in transfer portal guys, and you're really bulking up at guys who've played more. But I mean, right now Collins is probably a third teamer, and I know he's got a great upside. And I like Kavion Henderson the other end as well. What things I saw from them in spring, but we'll see. I mean, they've got guys ahead of them that are legit players. But Bradley Shaw, I actually talked to him for our Hog Futures. He's only been playing linebacker for a couple of years, and he's picking it up, and he's very, very physical and instinctive. And Sam Pittman mentioned last night that he moved up into the groups that Sam was watching in the two spotting because he had been doing well. So he would have a chance. Beyond that, I mean, I don't know if we're going to have any Luke Has, Jalen Braxton guys like them. I mean, there could be a couple that surprise, but when you look at it, I mean, Arkansas's got a little bit of depth to them this year. They felt like they really did a great job in the portal, and we'll have as much depth as they've had during the Sam Pittman era.
Tom, they're not in pads, so sometimes you can see the physical changes that were achieved over the course of the post-spring and off-season. Anyone jump out at you physically, either a newcomer you haven't seen before or a player that coming out of spring has maybe made a transformation that caught your eye?
Well, I would say that I like what I saw out of the receivers. And I can't. No, we didn't have enough viewing where I could just say, man, this guy's consistently just hitting it. But in what Sam Pittman and the players talked about last night, I mean, they think they're going to get contributions from the veterans that you know have done it before. But I mean, like, let's take an Ian Gaffard. The kid's about 380. Got some second team reps. He's a redshirt freshman. Got second team reps in the spring. Well, I think he's going to have a real good chance to back up Eric Gregory and Cam Ball and Kiwi Rose and kind of be in that first rotation. Yeah. And when they start talking about other guys, I mean, the kid they got from BYU, Danny Salee, he's like 6 feet, 300 and something pounds, just going to be a rock in there if he can get playing time. So I'll be better able to answer that question here, in another week or so, I'd say.
All right, so we've seen the schedule, but let's walk the listeners through it because you got these acclimation practices. Then you go to Shells and get helmets and shoulder pads, or the shoulder pads to go along with the helmets now. It's going to be into next week before we see really a full padded practice.
Yeah, and I'll have to say this. The spider pads, there's a little bit of shoulder-to-shoulder going on. When they did the inside run drill, that's pretty physical. And that's just the way Arkansas practices now, and I'm sure Georgia, Bama, and the teams around the conference, they practice a little bit physical. And here's another observation from yesterday. It was really hot. Some guys cramped up. Cam Ball, I wrote about it this morning. They usually ride their golf carts, and it's a pretty long distance from the Smith Center, up the hill and then through the stadium to the interview room we do. And Cam Ball said he had to walk it because he was cramping up. So, I mean, staying hydrated when you're sweating that much, and they're going on the turf too. And that's a comment Ben Souders made, the strength and conditioning coach, that they wanted it to be tough. They worked out on the artificial turf. They ran in the middle of the day just to make things tough. So when you got in a game and things got tough, you weren't as prone to break down or, lose your mental focus. And so, I don't know, man. It's the same every year, right? You get, okay, things are looking better. They have more depth. Maybe there's a chance they have a better team. And, that came to fruition in 21. And as Sam Pittman put it, he likes the vibe and he likes the camaraderie he sees from this team. And I'm cautiously optimistic they're going to be, I think I said this on here on Tuesday, a team that makes itself hard to beat. You got to go out there and beat them on game day.
Tommy, you've got a chance to talk with Coach Pittman. As we close you out here, you had a few jokes that he made at SEC Media Days. He's had a few other stuff since then. He had the phone incident last night. For those that don't know, haven't watched yet, someone's phone was going off during Pittman's interview. Does he seem at ease based on speculation, right? What have you sensed of his demeanor heading into this year?
I think he feels like he and the staff did as much as they could in recruiting and the scheming and hiring of Bobby Petrino and the staff to give this team its best shot at being improved. I mean, he's not a guy who's just cashing his checks. He's out there trying. I think it's very, very important to him that the state looks at him and says, this guy's trying. He gave everything he had for Arkansas. I'm going to out myself right now. I thought my phone was completely all systems off, everything. And
that was you?
Oh, it was you.
Oh,
Ty, how did you throw my man under the bus?
I didn't know it was him.
No, man, my sisters, when they get on a thing, they start texting each other, and I'm like, oh, no, that sounds like my phone on the first one. And then it happened again. And my sisters, they think Colin Farrell is very attractive. So there was a text thread last night. Hey, look, this is Colin Farrell when he was young. And I apologized. But I got it fixed also. I know how to put it in airplane mode now, and so that won't happen again.
Well, Tom, I really didn't know that was you, so I apologize for putting you on the spot.
Dude, you're right under the bus, Tom.
It was kind of funny.
I'm not worried about it, man. The truth is out. I wouldn't try to hide that. I was embarrassed, and but Sam Pittman took it fully in stride. I mean, there's some coaches that would have, like the second time it happened, they would have started getting frustrated, but he was okay. In fact, he made a joke about it. He said, hey, I think one of y'all's girlfriends called, and I'm like thinking in my head, no, that's my sister.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Well, Tom,
no, that's not her ring.
We appreciate it, brother. And apparently BE thinks you'd win the gold medals in visiting state capitals, so that's what you could get given if you ended up competing in something like that.
Thanks. I love going to the state capitals. I could be. Ping pong is something I played back then. I'll just say that.
Hey, there's one in the practice facility. Maybe give some of the players a run for their money.
I doubt it, man. I don't have the reflexes I once had. See y'all.
See you, Tom.
All right, so those that missed it.
Without putting pads on, but he was in the right place today. Hello.
Same.
Bobby, I think it's your girlfriend called. Somebody wants somebody pretty bad up here. Is that my phone? Is that Jamie?
I thought it was funny. I feel bad for Tom. I legitimately did not know that was him. But yeah, that's what he went through yesterday. It was one of the funny, more entertaining parts of that press conference.
So, Chuck, and that is the worst when it's your phone and you can't get to it.
Hey, I've seen situations where Tom would have been out of there. That'd have been it. And he could come back the next day, but his time in there at that moment would probably have been over.
Yeah.
I'm sure he felt awful.
So I don't know what are the worst places to have your phone ring like that. Press conference would be one.
Funeral,
church and funeral with the
numero one.
Yeah.
In the middle of a driving test, it can distract.
Don't answer.
It can distract.
I was going to say, the key there would be whether or not you answer the phone.
That'd absolutely be it. So,
bedroom too. Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't expand on that.
Hey, maybe in the middle of a closing, Chuck. That's why you need the pros.
No, Weicker Realtors of Griffin Company take care of that. Thing I love about them is that, whether you're a first-time buyer or whether or not you've been doing this for your entire life, they're your partners every step of the way, and they're involved in our community as well. These are people you know. These are people you go to ball games with. You see at church. You see at school events. And what you're going to find is that they're going to go through the process with you every step of the way. You're not going to have to do this by yourself. If you've got questions, they've got answers. The line of communication is always going to be open. Sometimes they're going to have answers before you have questions. And that really was what it was like with me, if you want to know the truth. Ultimately, what they do best is get you from contract to close. If you've ever sold a home, there's a difference between a contract and a close. And You want to be able to get to the end. You want to be able to finish the process. And that may be what they do best, is get you to that point at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. They're in Northwest Arkansas, Washington and Benton counties. They're in Fort Smith. They've got an office in Branson you hear us talking about. And you can see their wide selection of homes at WeicherGriffin.com.
Not just in church if your phone goes off, is it bad, but during the middle of prayer. If it goes off during the middle of prayer, that's probably straight to hell, right? Do not pass go. Do not get $200.
Back when we were kids, before there were phones, it was the church laugh. You know, anything that was funny in church was 500 times funnier than it would have been outside church. And you get the church laugh going, and you couldn't stop. And that was always embarrassing, too.
Yeah.
Had to keep it together as best you could. It's like when your teacher says, hey, don't fall asleep, and that just makes you more tired. When you get told to do that you can't do a certain thing, it makes you want to do it more, makes it more difficult to avoid that certain thing.
Yeah. I had appreciation, what was it, a film appreciation or some bogus class I had to take in college. It was at 1 o'clock, like 1 or 1:30, right after lunch, and the teacher would show a film or a movie and turn the lights out. Well, what do you think happened? You know, nap time for everybody in there.
What'd you learn?
We needed a cell phone to wake us up. Yeah.
What'd
Hey,
you
quick
learn?
quiz. Oh no. Oh crap. And you didn't have Netflix to go or YouTube to go catch up back then.
I fell asleep in class one time and someone posted it on social media.
Well,
I was like, well, all right.
I got kicked out of
I was
class
kinda
for
mad.
sleeping one time. She was not happy. The professor liked me, but she's like, you got to get out. Got kicked out.
Just don't be like Francesa and fall asleep during your radio show.
That was entertaining.
That might have been the worst ever. So, all right, we'll get to it in our hog update. That's on the way after 1 day of practice. That's all straight ahead. Brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. Put that number in your phone and keep it nearby, whether it's a dinner reservation at Gaston's or whether you're looking for a quick weekend getaway or a guided fishing trip. I get people to ask me all the time about Gaston's. Tell me about the fishing trips. Well, here's the thing. They've got a roster full of great guides that take care of everything. Driving the boat, take care of the tackle. I mean, you don't have to tie a hook on. You don't have to figure out what bait to use, when to switch, cleaning fish, how many you can keep. All of that is in the hand of the guides. In fact, if you don't even know how to cast, and guides up there will help my kids when needed. Heck, we even taught Ty how to cast a spinning rod. I mean, they're experts. So it's like going to see a personal trainer or a coach or a golf pro or someone you would get lessons from. That's kind of what you're doing. You're spending all day with someone that does this for a living and can teach you what's going on and just ensure that you have a great day. 870-431-5202. Call and book a guided fishing trip at Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is former Alabama and All-Pro safety Roman Harper, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the...
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything. Service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Isaiah Satania is on the Jet Award watch list for this upcoming season. We saw what he's capable of last year against BYU.
Man, that's a bullet. Sends Satania back to his own 13-yard line. Out across the 20 to the 25 to the 30. Satania trying to get to midfield. He's across the 50. He's got a chance to go. Isaiah at the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Joe Adams won this award back in 2011, as electric as he was under Bobby Petrino. We had a chance to catch up with Casey Dick yesterday. Isaiah played for Casey a little bit at Fayetteville High School. Here was what Coach Dick envisioned Isaiah Satania maybe under Bobby Petrino this year.
Well, I really expect to have a breakout year. You know, I kind of check in with him and Coach Petrino every now and then and just, you know, make sure that he's doing good and, you know, if there's anything he needs to be doing. And Coach Petrino loves him. He loves his, you know, his competitiveness at practice because that's kind of who Isaiah is. And he really, really likes the way that he goes in and competes, the way that he bursts after the catch and catches the ball. Obviously runs routes. So I think, you know, everybody from that standpoint is in a really great place. I think one thing you'll see different this year is, you know, he'll play a bunch of different areas, not just line up in the slot. That's kind of Coach Petrino's belief. You know, you saw it with Greg, Jarius, and Joe. They didn't just line up play and play in the slot receiver or line up and play outside receiver. He did a great job of moving those guys around, trying to create some different matchups, cause some different stress levels on the defense from that standpoint also.
Apparently that's what was happening in practice, guys. Just didn't necessarily translate to the game. I know Isaiah's probably going to go back and forth between first and second team depending on how things play out in fall camp, but a guy that I know Coach Dick and a lot of other people are excited to maybe what he can become this upcoming year.
Get him into space somehow, and he could probably win a lot of one-on-one matchups. But he's not the only fast guy in the SEC, and there's guys that can track him down, but he might be the fastest guy in a skill spot for Arkansas, that's for sure.
I'll tell you one guy in that group that never really gets talked about that I think should be talked about more, and that's Jaden Wilson. This is a guy that's played, has scored. I think you're going to see. Him involved in the offense maybe a little more than people think. And there's a couple of transfers, at least one in that group that would surprise me if he gets some balls thrown his way too.
I also wonder about C.J. Brown. Coach Dick is not one of his players, but he played against him. He's a freshman. Really, really outstanding player for Bentonville. And here's kind of what he said about CJ back in high school.
Faster than what you think. Obviously has a bigger physical presence. Really well put together kid physically. Coming from a great program, obviously at Bentonville, and the job that they do with Coach Grant. So, number one, he's going to be prepared to be able to play at that level. But number two, he's going to be able to move and do some things quicker than what people, give him credit for. He's a great football player. Done a great job of preparation, seen him a couple of different times. So I would expect for him to, probably get in there and see some flashes. And obviously if he goes out there and competes the way he can, and that role will increase, throughout the fall for him as well.
I think they plan on C.J. Brown playing. That was my impression in the spring. I'll put it that way. Obviously things can change over the course of the summer, and we'll have to see how everything unfolds this month. But I think they felt like in the spring he had a shot to crack the top 6, and that's going to put him on the field. So I think they've been pleased there. Now again, things can change over the course of the next 28 days, but I think they're excited about what he can do.
That is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
I want to give credit to PA, our Texarkana, who's been patiently waiting on hold for about 40-something minutes. PA, I've been trying to get to you. Now I'm finally able to. You got about a minute and a half, man. What's up this morning?
That's okay. You're probably going to hang up on me in about 10 seconds. I'm an old guy. I'm 64 years old, and have been a Razorback fan from way back when. Just to set the stage. I'm just an old fogey, is what I'm trying to get at. Do things the old way. In this particular Olympics, I've heard the term twice in the 3-on-3 women's competition, and once in the regular women's basketball about so-and-so and so-and-so. They're a power couple, and they plan on getting married in whatever date it was, a couple of months off, and they were talking about getting their invitations out and this and that. Now, I just grew up, every job I ever had, fellas, we were told specifically that you did not date anybody on the job that you work with, no fellow workers. You didn't, that was a no-no. And have new rules been made that you can just, that allow these people that are fellow co-workers just to mix and mingle like we're having out on a Friday night and having a big party.
You don't dip your pen in the company ink. That's just, that's a no-no, right?
College is intentional on my part. I don't know about ties, but I'm not.
I have in 6 years. No, I haven't in 6 years.
Here's what I want to know. Why is 3-on-3 basketball even an Olympic sport?
Saw Jimmer was getting a rub down on national television the other day. Outside of that, I couldn't tell you anything what's going on in 3-on-3.
PA, thanks for the call. Brought to you by APAC Arcola. They have immediate job openings in Boone, Marion, Baxter, Benton, and Washington counties right now. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, concrete finisher, diesel mechanic, got experience in road construction, they have a job for you with great pay, benefits, retirement, profit sharing, and more. Go to jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
Kane Archer joins us live in studio next.
Even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The world is always changing, and our lives change right along with it. So when you need a bigger space for that gym or remote office, a larger kitchen, or a yard to run around in, your local Weichert agent can help. And when your life changes again, and you're looking for that cozy place for just the two of you, your Weichert agent can help then too. Because at Weichert Realtors, we know that no matter how the world changes around you, we'll take you home. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
This is The Morning Rush.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bushville. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushville. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Light.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch & Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the upper 90s with a heat index approaching 112. Chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm early tonight, especially across the north. Overnight lows in the middle 70s. And then another slight chance of showers and storms on Friday, a high in the middle to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 28 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
I've watched you, January and February, work your tails off, come together as a team. I watched you in March and April during spring practice work your tails off and come together even more as a team as leaders were developing on that field. And I saw you the last 8 weeks working your tails off.
Family motivates me. We're getting ready to make us better for the next 20 days. That's what we're getting ready to do. Everybody with me? Appreciate you. Let's go to battle tomorrow. Remember, let's have a tough-ass football team.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
And we welcome you into our number 3 in the Morning Rush here on a Too Stupid Thursday. We've got plenty to get into this hour, starting with Greenwood class of 2026 junior quarterback Kane Archer, who has got an offer list as long as the state is wide. We're going to chat with him coming up in just a bit. What's going on heading into this season? We had Coach Dick on yesterday at Fayetteville High School, who Kane will face off against with Greenwood coming up on the 20th of August, and plenty of other things to discuss, Tom, as we get rolling here in hour 3.
Yeah, looking forward to all that. Brought to you by Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies in Fort Smith. They got a big weekend planned out. If you haven't checked out their menu, go to uncorkthefort.com. Chef Jazz got some new stuff. Plus, they have live music this weekend. Tomorrow night, 7 to 10, some guy named Rob. Now, that's actually what he goes by. Some guy named Rob is going to be there 7 to 10. You can make your reservations at uncorkthefort.com or go to their Facebook page. There's a link there so you can enjoy the live music. They got a chef special coming up this weekend with some Chilean sea bass with a lump crab cake on a bed of ancient grains and grilled asparagus. The picture on their Facebook feed just looks outstanding. So you can check that out. Best patio around. Game season coming up. We're inside a month to go. They got the largest screen to watch games on. Just a comfortable vibe, a cool vibe when you go to Uncorked. It's next to Sodies on Phoenix. Uncorkthefort.com for your reservations at Uncorked this weekend.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
All right, so I got a brother It's about the same difference as you and Cash. Again, Kane's with us this morning. How competitive are you guys in everyday life? I'm not just talking about when he's rushing you on the football field. I'm talking about in every single facet of your life. How much do you guys push each other on a daily basis?
Everything we do. Like, literally everything. Like, we'll be who can get to the car the fastest. I mean, something as little as that, like, so stupid. We didn't used to be like that back when we were 3rd and 4th grade, but it's changed over time. Cash has kind of grown into himself, and I don't want to say he's being himself now, and he wants to win everything he does because he's always seen me win in life, and he's like, okay, well, it's my turn. Let me go. So we compete in everything we do.
A competitiveness aspect. Again, Cash is a senior. You're a junior heading into this season. Just talk about how you maybe matured on the football field since you started as a freshman. You did travel ball back in the day to where you are now as the starting quarterback as a junior.
Yeah, I think I took a lot of pride in this offseason trying to gain a little bit of weight because Coach Young, Coach Hogan, Coach Hales, everybody from my freshman year, it's kind of difficult. I mean, you're learning. We have so many plays. I don't want to say we have so many plays. We have so much stuff out of so many different variations. That's kind of hard to pick up on, and Coach Young has taught me everything I needed to know, Coach Hogan as well, on just the game. So I tried to take a lot of pride into gaining weight this offseason instead of more of the X's and O's of it because they've already taught me a bunch of it. So I'm weighing about 205 now instead of last season. I played about 190.
Sure sounds like a steak diet. Your dad is telling me he sends me occasionally
Sounds about
the
right.
diet. That's just it's all steak or whatever. So it's definitely helped. So you think about, like, I wonder when you have conversations with Lincoln Riley, Coach Petrino, all these Lane Kiffin, all these different high caliber football coaches, what are they wanting for you to get better at as you continue to progress as a high school quarterback?
I'd say velocity. Velocity is probably the biggest thing, and I think with me working with Jeff Christensen down there in Jared Park down in Dallas with throw-out deep training, they have Patrick Mahomes. I've been training with Trey Lance down there, Aiden O'Connell, and that's a big thing that, like, over the past, I want to say 2-3 months, I've changed my throwing motion a lot.
It's like over the top now, right?
It's just more of, I'm more in my legs instead of using all my arm, and I haven't thrown this good in my life. I used to have arm pain for days upon end, and I couldn't throw. I'd be like, Coach, I can't throw today, man. Like, my arm is gone. And now I can sit here and throw for 6-7 days a week and not have any pain at all. So it's a big difference.
Greenwood High School quarterback Kane Archer will be a junior this year here with us on the Morning Rush. If you've got a question, you can text those in, 877-377-6963. You caught up with one of our old Morning Rush mates and Razorback great, Greenwood great, Tyler Wilson, a few weeks ago. Y'all threw it around. What was that like to spend an hour or two with Tyler down there at Greenwood and do a workout with him? And maybe what'd you learn from one of the greats that came before you at Greenwood?
Yeah, I mean, it was super cool just to be able to pick his brain for an hour or 2 hours, sitting out there. Just, he taught me some things that was more of, we don't go under center at Greenwood. He taught me a couple things, and I picked it up really quick. And the dude's overall just super cool. He was willing to help me. He gave me his phone number. He was like, hey, man, anytime you need me, just call me. So, I mean, I really appreciate him. He's super cool, and he can still spin it for being however old he is, 33 years old. So.
Yeah. Old guy, right?
Old guy.
Old guy,
yes,
33.
33.
I've known your dad forever. We went to high school. What do people need to know about you? You've grown up here. You're an Arkansas kid. What do you like? What do you do besides football?
Sleep. Sleep, eat.
You a gamer?
Hey, you got an NCAA yet,
I haven't even downloaded it yet. I'm not gonna lie. Nope.
Wow.
All I do is sleep and eat, and sometimes just hang out with my friends. So I'm a pretty boring guy. I'm not allowed to.
Have you met Mahomes yet? You mentioned Jeff Christensen. You met any of the other guys that you also brought up?
Trey Lance.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been throwing with Trey Lance, Aiden O'Connell.
Could be the future Dallas quarterback, depending on how things shake out with Jerry World on that.
Yeah, maybe so. There's a couple more that I just can't think of off the top of my head.
So give me the backstory on how that relationship got started, because, I mean, you just listed off a couple professional quarterbacks.
Yeah.
These quarterback coaches are busy.
Right.
They're wanting to make investment with someone they think is going to pay off. How did that relationship form?
So, I mean, I remember the day exactly. It was February 19th, about I want to say 12:30, and I was sitting there laying on the ground at God, I can't remember what high school it was in Texas. We were sitting there, and I was at a camp with the group I'm not going to say, but we get a call from Jeff Christian. He's like, "Hey, I've watched your tape. I really like you. Can you come over to my house tonight?" He actually asked me to come throw with Trey Lance that day, and I was like, I couldn't. Like, my arm was dead, gone. And he was like, "Okay, come to my house at 8:00. So I'm like, crap, yeah. We're walking into Patrick Mahomes' quarterback trainer's house. Like, this is fixing to be something really big. And went out there, threw the next day, and I'm telling you, when I went out there and threw, I threw the best I've ever thrown in my entire life. That next day, I had arm pain. The day before that, I went out there, had no pain, threw it the best. I walk in we actually threw at TCU's indoor. I walk in, and I see this big 6'4" dude, and I look over, and it's Trey Lance just standing there, and I'm like, this isn't normal at all. So I've just been going back to Dallas here and there. I'll drive 4.5 hours, stay with my dad's mom in Waco, and I'll drive 2 hours to train, 2 hours back, just to get working.
Who's the coolest athlete? I mean, I've seen pictures with you, C.J. Stroud. You mentioned Lance. I mean, you've met a lot of coaches. Coolest athlete that you maybe been awestruck from actually meeting for the first time?
I'm not gonna say he's the coolest, but Bryce Young is just so down to earth, and like if I want somebody to marry my sister, it's gonna be Bryce Young. Like, he's super cool, man.
He walked into Carolina Panthers training camp looking like he was in middle school, like just very nonchalant.
And
Nick Saban has said several good things about him. Again, we're talking with Kane Archer in studio with this class 2026 Greenwood quarterback. Arkansas's fall camp has begun as of yesterday. Y'all's gets going on Monday. What are you looking forward to about that?
I'm ready to put the pads on. I mean, I was sitting there in the car yesterday, and I was listening to this song, and I mean, I just got chills sitting there. Like, I'm so ready to play. I've been ready to play since about mid-January, about a month after the state game, and I'm just ready. I mean, we've got our receiving core this year, and not just the starting four. We have so much depth behind that it's not even crazy. So if one of our guys goes down, we got somebody else just to step in. So I'm ready to see what the season's going to do for us.
Yep. When Bobby Petrino was announced as offensive coordinator, it didn't take long for him to find his way to Greenwood and visit with you. What was that your initial introduction to Bobby Petrino, and how did that conversation go, and what's the relationship been like since then?
He actually came down when he was at Texas A&M. He came down to Greenwood, and then, gosh, I don't remember how long later, but he was back in, and I looked at him, and he wasn't wearing Texas A&M. He was wearing Arkansas. So, I mean, he's been coming down pretty frequently. Came down, saw Cash do some drills, saw Grant run some routes, saw Isaiah. The relationship's going good. I went up there to a camp, and he said really well. So, yeah, I mean, he's staying in contact. Doing.
As an athlete kind of coming through this NIL process, and it's not in Arkansas necessarily the way people think. I know there's some things working there, but what are the steps that you're trying to take? What are the things that you and your dad and your family have to think about now that that just add to the process?
Everybody's like getting so caught up in all like the money and stuff. I'm just sitting here like, they haven't passed NIL laws for Arkansas yet, so high school athletes can't make any money, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. You want to sit here and pay a high schooler $1 million? They don't know what to do with that, right? I mean, I'm saying if I got handed me $1 million right now, I'd be like, I don't know what to do with this at all. Here you go, Dad. Right? So I mean, I don't know. We're trying to take it slow and just figure things out. We're listening to stories around and who we know of people that are getting deals and how it all works out.
Did you grow up a Razorback fan? You've been here a long time.
I grew up.
Who do you root for?
Yeah, I mean, I have to, right? I was born in Dallas, Texas, but I've lived here my whole life, so I am a Razorback fan.
We just got a text here from Dwight Kane. Say, you just turned the radio on. You sound like you're 28 years old and you've been doing the radio for 10 years. He's asking if Tommy's mentored you a little bit. And that's one of the things I've heard about you. First time us meeting, talking a little bit, but you do have a maturity aspect. Was there like a point in your life where you're like, man, I got to grow up a little bit? If I'm going to be a starting quarterback of a college football team someday, or a high school quarterback, early on in my underclassmen years, where was that point that you're like, I got to flip a switch?
Me and my dad talked about it about 2 years ago when he kind of finally realized, I don't want to say finally realized, but when he realized like this may be what I do. We talked about it. We came up to Fayetteville. We went to go meet with an agent or whatever, and we talked about it, and he was like, they're going to put so much time and effort into you if you're a starting quarterback in college that you can't mess up. Like, you cannot mess up. You have to be picture perfect. You can't be seen doing the wrong things. You can't even be doing the wrong things. So I figured that out, and I was like, man, like I don't need to be wasting my time hanging out with people that don't help me. So that's literally why I told you guys I just sleep and eat.
Sleep, eat, and play football.
Yep.
And your dad can still jerk a knot in your tail if he needs to.
Yes, correct. And you know he does.
We had Coach Dick on yesterday, and he was giving us a preview of his team. You played Drake Lindsay a little bit last year. Drake, of course, is in Minneapolis playing for the Gophers. Still a lot of guys, I guess, that return on that squad. That's y'all's first technical game. How early do you guys game plan for a scrimmage, or what does that look like in high school?
So we'll start. We won't spend long on Fayetteville at all. We'll start watching Bentonville West here in about, I'd probably say we'll start watching Wednesday, Bentonville West. We'll watch probably Monday, Tuesday, Fayetteville, and then we'll start, it'll be August, probably 7th when we start watching film on Bentonville West, and that puts us 24 days into film with Bentonville West. So, I mean, you're giving us 3.5 weeks to just prepare for them.
Yeah.
I opened up the show asking you about your brothers. Your brother going to break the Arkansas all-time sacks record this year? I know he's gunning for it.
Hey,
you think he gets it?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's moving to linebacker, right?
He is moving to linebacker. Yep.
Okay.
So.
Yep. He doesn't. I mean, we all know when you're going to play D1 college football, if you're not 6'4", 250 pounds playing defensive end, you're probably not going to do it.
He's got a little of that crazy streak in him on the field. I mean, that's what you need to be good at that, right?
That dude can go. I mean, he never shuts it off, and he's not like that anywhere else but the football field. I can't tell you, he's weird.
He seems pretty like quiet for the most part outside of the football field.
Yeah, he's kind of non-social, but you put some pads and helmet on that dude, and you're like, what was that?
Aren't you glad that you're in a red jersey or he's not in another team
Correct.
each and every Saturday or
Correct.
Friday night?
Sometimes we have to blow. I mean, sometimes we can't even run a play in practice, so it gets kind of annoying.
He just wrecks the play.
Yes.
All right, so Kane Archer with us, quarterback at Greenwood, one of the top recruits in the country in the 26th class. You've talked about your arm and you're changing there, but one thing you hadn't talked about is your wheels. I mean, one of the things that I've seen you do, and one of the things that I've heard other coaches talk about is, hey, when it breaks down and you got to get out of that pocket and at least keep it from being negative yards, you've got the ability to get out and scramble and run a little bit.
Yes, and Coach Young hates it. He gets so scared. He told me.
But he doesn't say anything about it.
He doesn't say anything unless I cut it too close. I got to run out of bounds or slide, because last year I broke my wrist week 3 against Mountain Home, and he was like, yeah, you're not running again until week 14 state championship. And he told me the same thing probably 3 or 4 days ago. He was like, yeah, you're not running until week 14. And I was like, Coach, you're not going to do that to me. Like, I run. So you're not going to keep me from that.
Tommy mentioned like you being highly recruited, and I know your dad probably keeps you grounded, but I just wonder from like your vantage point, how do you not stay how do you stay away from being cocky or stay in the stuff you're supposed to do week in, week out to make sure y'all get back to another state championship?
Yeah, I was talking to my little brother about this the other day. I was listening to him play video games. He's my little stepbrother. They moved in the house about a year ago, and he's 10, 11 years old. He's playing quarterback, and he was kind of being a little mean to his friends, and I was like, Titus, like, listen to me. Nobody's going to like you if you're like this way. And he kind of sat there and thought about it for a second. He was like, well, I guess you're right. And so I've kind of had that whole outlook on life since I was in 4th, 5th grade. Like, if you're gonna be, nobody's gonna like you if you just walk around all arrogant and cocky. So I've tried to figure out, hey, if I'm just myself, if I'm not fake to everybody, but if I'm nice to everybody and I'm who I am, everybody's gonna be like, okay, I like this guy.
You want Cody, one of your tackles, to make sure he likes you, so he's not letting an O and a D into you and stuff like that.
Correct. And then I don't know if I haven't even told anybody this yet, but I bought our starting 4 new receivers pair of gloves the other day. Like, I sometimes, like, you just got to show. I train quarterbacks on the side, and I was like, hey, man, like, what else am I going to do better with this money? Go out to eat. So I just bought them a new pair of gloves. They do a bunch of stuff for me. So
Kane, what are you, 16, 17 now?
I'm 16.
16.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things I noticed when because down on field level when I'm working a game or something, but I see the young kids, the 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds that come up and just want to fist bump or just want to be near you.
Yeah.
How do you acclimate to that? How do you keep yourself grounded? Because you're right, you're a role model for these kids that are 8, 10 years younger that want to be you someday. That to me seems like I I wouldn't want my kid at your age to have that kind of pressure on him. How do you do it? Or do you even recognize that?
I do, but I mean, I wouldn't call it pressure. I just think, because I was the same way when I was a kid. Like, I used to watch Greenwood football, and I was like, man, that dude's really cool. I want to be like him. And I remember the feeling of,
who was the quarterback when you were that age? I mean, because Tyler was gone by then, right?
Is that Connor?
I watched Peyton Holt play a little bit, and I was like, that's the dude I want to be like right there. I want to be like that dude right there. Everything about him. So I just looked up to him, and I remember the feeling I had inside, like, God, that dude's really cool. And if I thought if those kids think about what I thought about Peyton Holt, like, I get it, man. Like, a fist bump walking by for 5 seconds, staying 5 minutes after the game just to talk to these kids, just. I mean, I know how it feels.
Because you realize that's not commonplace in high school football.
Right. Yeah.
People forget
right?
that Payne played quarterback, too, which is kind of, I mean, he's just an athlete, man.
Oh, my God.
He played basketball down there, too, Ty.
Yeah.
He's a stud. Now, give it. We're talking again with Kane Archer, class of 2026 Greenwood starting quarterback. Tommy's been there. I have not. Give us a sense of what it's like to walk under the bright lights on a Friday night in Smith Robinson Field.
There's no better feeling. I mean, when you've got Greenwood's a football town, when you walk out there and you've got the whole crowd filled and you're running out of the Bulldog and fireworks are going off, and I'm sure Tommy can tell you you got something to play for. I mean, your whole town's behind you. You can't. It's not pressure. It's that's what you want to play for. So yeah.
Well, Kane, we really appreciate it. I know that fall camp again gets started for you guys on Monday. You've got stuff leading up to that, so we appreciate you jumping in with us this morning.
I appreciate you. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, Kane Archer, 2026 quarterback here with us on the Morning Rush. Chuck Barrett rejoins the conversation. Chuck, the maturity of a 16. I don't think I could have done an interview with that kind of poise at his age.
Well, I'm always struck by how much smarter this generation is than my generation was, or maybe just Kane's a lot smarter than me. But yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that.
It's good stuff. All right, we got plenty to get into concerning Arkansas football with Sam Pittman, and also we'll come back to some of the Cal stuff. I thought John Calipari said an interesting thing on Monday about Trent Brazil. And Chuck, I know you touched on the podcast a little bit. I wanted to kind of go off that at another angle as well.
Sounds good. I'll look forward to it.
Yeah. Hey, well, we talking about money a minute ago. When it comes to managing your money, there's a podcast, Chuck, you need to listen to with Mach 1 to kind of get you set for what's going on in the marketplace.
Well, and they've got interesting topics. And this week on the Market Moment podcast, Isaac is asking Lee and John for advice on how to teach your kids financial literacy. Lee and John offer their experience, and they're going to share some tips and tricks for a variety of ages. Never too late to teach your kids the importance of managing their money. So they're going to talk about that this week. You can check out the latest moment of the Market Moment podcast by heading to market-moment.com to find out more. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
Tommy, maybe the best text we've received in quite some time. Robin Waldron points out, truthfully, Kane is more mature than Ty. Well, I think there's some accuracy in that text message this morning. Right? That was pretty straightforward from the opening segment on there. All right, we got a lot to discuss here. It is a Too Stupid Thursday. Keep it rolling here on the Morning Rush, ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com.
Find us on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, 97.1 in Camden and South Arkansas, and everywhere on HitThatLine.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's site's starting to go viral.
Hey, what, is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. If you need to, you can shop us online at them web things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hogs.
Hey, this is Oliver Miller, former Arkansas Razorback, the Big O. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Oliver Miller, the Big O. We're going to roll into the middle.
Ooh, Pig Suey, baby.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Calling all biscuit lovers. Hardee's limited edition blueberry biscuits are the stuff of biscuit dreams. Our famous buttermilk biscuits with summer's favorite berries baked in, served warm, and drizzled with icing. Don't miss your chance to try this special summertime treat while blueberry biscuits are still in season and ripe for the picking. Only at Hardee's. Goodness in the making. Order ahead on the Hardee's app. Participation may vary. Exclusions apply by time of day.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Ring, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You walk into teams' football stadiums and you see the statues and you see all the historically significant events with some kind of monument to them. And that stuff can be intimidating, even when the stadium's empty. And you can kind of imagine what it's like when it's full. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but I can tell you there are stadiums out there. Hey, you walk across the field at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge when it's empty. I don't care if it's full or empty. It's a little bit intimidating down there.
Good old Death Valley, one of the toughest venues in all of college football, and a place that Arkansas has not won as many times as you like, but they gave him a battle last year against Jane Daniels. You welcome LSU falling a bye this year, and hopefully that's a game of consequences we get later on in the season. So we've talked a lot of football this morning. I had a great conversation with Kane Archer. If you missed it, Bud Light Morning Rush podcast, I'll separate it out after the show as well. But I want to jump back into basketball. We hadn't done a lot of that with Chuck this morning. Cal spoke on Monday, and one of the things really stood out to me about his team this past year, and I want to talk about why I think he's going to go in the opposite direction this year coming up.
That's Chuck's favorite night of the week. It's karaoke night at TGI Fridays.
Oh, man.
Chuck will be down there singing all the Jimmy Buffett and George Strait songs that you like. So you taking requests tonight for karaoke?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. So, hey, karaoke every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 o'clock with Kenny at TGI Fridays. Half-price drinks, $5 appetizers during happy hour, 3 to 6 and 9 to close. They do it twice daily during the week. So Monday through Friday, 3 to 9 close, half-price drinks and $5 appetizers. And karaoke Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 8 at TGI Fridays, 540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
If you just look at statistics, John Calipari had the best offensive unit he's ever had. Second in the country in points per game last season in Lexington. They were number one in three-point shooting. They were terrible at defense, though. 335th or 334th overall last year. Listening to him on Monday talk about a few things, roster, game plan. One of the things he talked about was Trevin Brazil, Big Z. Talked about really trying to put them inside and get them tough down low.
Trevin's better than I thought he was. Saw just a story. He's standing there and he's laying on his back. I said, "You're better than I thought you were." And he looks at me and says, "I told you." But that's the confidence that I want him to feel. He's talented, but he's got to get into wars and be comfortable in those situations. My whole thing with what I do is I try to make guys uncomfortable and let them know you must be comfortable when you're uncomfortable. I'm trying to make him an attack dog. I don't want him standing out there shooting threes. No, you're not doing that here.
That Kentucky team was a finesse team last year. I think that's inarguable. Not to say that this team won't shoot threes, but he used the term attack dog there. I think you're going to see a lot more drives and less three-point shooting guys than we saw from Cal's last squad, based on his personnel and based on how I think irritated he got with last year's team.
Well, I think what he's talking about there, though, is the big guys aren't going to do it.
That's exactly
I didn't
right.
hear him saying anything about the other guys not shooting threes. In fact, I heard him say during the course of his conversation there that we're going to, you got to be able to shoot if you're going to play for us. I think what he's talking about there are specifically Big Z and Trevin. And I think, just to be blunt, we've seen with Brazil in prior years that, you can't – if you're going to play in the NBA, if you're going to be a professional basketball player and you're 6'11", or in Big Z's case 7'2", you can't just stand out there and shoot threes. And I would take what he said to mean his big guys are going to perhaps play more traditional big guy roles. But there's still going to be plenty of three-pointers put up.
A lot of times teams will use the big guy from the perimeter to draw out the defender to open up a lane for someone else to attack the rim. If Arkansas doesn't move their big guy out, it makes you wonder, is it going to be harder on teams to attack the rim if your big guys are sagging and playing closer? I don't know.
Well, every situation, every game is going to be different. There may be games where you do need to do some of that, and I don't think anything, everything, I guess, would be the better way to put it, subject to change. But just listening to his comments, he talked about, I got 3 true guards, 3 wings, 3 bigs. Well, if you've got 3 true guards and 3 wings out of your top 9, I'm not sure your 3 bigs need to be the guys pumping up threes.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
So
you
that's kind of the way I took what he had to say. More than the team's not necessarily going to shoot fewer threes, but his big guys, it sounds like, are.
Yeah, because I've got 3-point specialists. That's what I hear him saying. I don't need the big guys taking them like you're talking about. I got guys that specialize in that, so we're going to use them to shoot threes. So, I mean, that's been the problem. Arkansas hasn't been able to score. I think he's going to find scores. I think he's found scores. We just got to see it. So I think that's what we're getting ready to see.
Go ahead.
Brought to you by River City Coatings. I was at River City Coatings yesterday. I was telling you about my golf cart earlier. The front bar on that's aluminum, so I needed a piece of metal to stick the rangefinder and the magnetic stuff, and had a couple pieces of metal cut that fit the bolt pattern. Anyway, bottom line, I needed it powder coated, so I never had to mess with it again. Took it to the crew at River City Coatings, and I was expecting a couple of weeks. Guys, I took it 2 days ago and got it back yesterday. It was a 1-day turnaround. And if you're looking for quick, you're looking for affordable, you're looking for a great team that can, explain the whole process. I had a very small project, but if you've got a larger project, you need rims on a car done, you need patio furniture done, you need, anything metal that you don't ever have to worry about painting again. Powder coating at River City Coatings is the way to go. Like I said, I had a very small item that I needed done. They took care of it quickly and got it turned around faster than I ever expected. They've got over 25 years of experience. A variety of colors are available as well. And if you need it fast, these guys showed me they can get it done fast as well. Go to rivercitycoatings.com or go see them on Sycamore in Van Buren. Go see my buddies at River City Coatings.
When we return, SEC update. A certain quarterback in the Southeastern Conference guaranteed a victory over his rival. Also, some more things that Sam Pittman had to say last night following the first day of fall camp. That closes out the show next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is former Razorback tight end Ben Cleveland, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter and Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's site's starting to go viral.
Hey, what is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479 Stadium or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them face web gram things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Hey, this is former Razorback pitcher Connor Noland, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
When I go out to eat, I want something fresh. I don't want something that's been sitting in a freezer.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Lavorne Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Lavorne Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it's just me more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
So Connor Wegman, however you say his name, Tommy, has basically guaranteed a victory over the Texas Longhorns as the Aggies quarterback, saying it's going to happen.
Good. That's what makes rivalries right there.
Yeah. Again, he was a kid that apparently his dream school was Texas, ends up at College Station at Texas A&M. That first game in quite some time since A&M left for the SEC is going to be awesome. Same weekend, of course, that Arkansas takes on Missouri. Should be a great weekend full of rivalry games. Alabama and Auburn was incredible last year, the throw that Jalen Milroe played. I'm hoping that's another prototypical A&M Texas game as well on rivalry weekend.
Oh, I mean, it's going to be one of the new fields and in this league. And listen, you've got more than a generation and a half that they played A&M. I mean, it's going to be new for both sides. So let's not act like there's only an A&M thing. That they haven't played in, well, I guess what's been 13 years now since it's a regular season game. So
2012, yeah,
12 years. So that's half. I guess I shouldn't say a generation, half a generation at least that hadn't seen it.
Well, to your point,
if you're 15 or 16 years old, you probably don't have a working memory of it.
That's where I was going to go. It depends on when you were born. So yeah, that is an element.
And for a lot of these players that will play in this game, they were very young when it last happened. That makes me feel old to say it, but it's truth.
It's a true part of that. So fall camp has begun. First day yesterday. We had a conversation with Kane Archer early in the hour. Their skit's going on Monday. Who has shined? Who's performed in the first practice. Here's Coach yesterday.
I thought Rodney Hill did a good job of running the ball. Tyrell Reed did a good job of running the ball. Larry Worth flashed. Switzer, I'm talking about the new guys that we were really looking forward to seeing if they could, the April kids coming in. I feel like we hit on those guys. I tell you, Monte Harrison caught a nice slant route for a touchdown in either a 2-minute drill or in team period.
Apparently, Taylor Green is getting messed with a little bit because he's kind of older. They're calling him the old head. What do they call Monte? Is it 28 or 29 now? What do you think they're calling Monte in the locker room and huddles, just messing with him? Just a little fun, good
10-year age gap in that locker room.
That'd be, I don't know how much he's going to factor into the wide receiver group this season, but it's kind of a cool college football story that it's happening with your football program. But that's, again, early stages. Some guys he mentioned. I'm going to be honest. I'm listening to Pittman last night. And I was like, I got to go look up where these guys, like Reed's a Hutchinson community college product. You've got Hills, a Florida State and Florida A&M kid. Worse, the Jacksonville State. Monte, of course, came from minor leagues. Like I had to reacclimate myself to this roster just because I hadn't heard these names in a while.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, there's half a dozen or so players that you didn't see in the spring. So just names they're getting used to. So there will be names that pop up that coaches speak of over the next couple of weeks that may be a factor early, but may not be the story at the end of the year. There will be guys that don't get mentioned in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That will be guys you desperately depend on down the stretch in November to win a football game. That's the way it is every year, and not just at Arkansas, a lot of places.
Mm-hmm. That is your SEC update this morning here on a Too Stupid Thursday.
And it's brought to you by the Phil Blobbers and the Phil Floats. Hey, summertime means fishing in the ponds and the creeks, and nothing works better than America's favorite floats by Phil. They're available in a variety of colors and sizes. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands in their Arkansas plant. They're great at detecting even the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms as well. Find Phil Floats at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores everywhere. America's favorite floats by Phil.
Hall of Fame game later on tonight. As disappointed as most people are, Caleb Williams is not playing Big C. That was kind of the draw for me as well, to see what the first-round pick was going to do for the Bears in his first preseason game, but it doesn't sound like that's going to happen tonight.
No, and I'm interested to see Caleb Williams when he actually does get out there, because he's pretty hyped coming out of USC and Oklahoma, and he's a game changer, and I want to see how it translates to the NFL, because a lot of these guys don't really pan out in the NFL. Caleb Williams might be a different guy, but we're not going to be able to see that tonight.
You know what's stupid here on a Too Stupid Thursday is any Bears fan, or anyone for that matter, that thinks they're going to be a playoff team or better than the Detroit Lions or Green Bay Packers in the NFC North. I've seen them as a popular pick lately. I know they added Caleb Williams and Oduze, or however you say his last name, from Washington, but I don't understand that. I don't understand that one bit. I think it's stupid anyone thinks they're going to take this dramatic jump from last year to this year.
What was it Aaron Rodgers said prior to them entering camp, that he felt like the Jets were amongst those, what did he say, 8 to 12 teams that could win the Super Bowl? Are there that many?
No.
That's a discussion. How many out of 32?
No.
Let me look.
How many teams are actually?
That's a great question, Tommy.
I would say 3.
Going to be a contender to be in the Super Bowl.
All right. So
you say 3?
Kansas City.
3 that have a chance to win.
Kansas City Chiefs. Who are your 3 then, Big C? Chiefs. Who are your other 2?
Chiefs. Ravens have to be up there.
Okay.
Niners.
And then maybe the Niners. Yeah, they all have that makeup. The Niners just haven't been able to get over the hump.
Here's what I would add to that list. I would add the Buffalo Bills, even though they lost Stephon Diggs, Allen's top 5 quarterback in the National Football League. Bills. I love Green Bay, but I don't think you can add them to the list. Maybe you add, I think you could throw Cincinnati in there with Burrow. I think there's about,
when they're healthy, yes.
Yeah, and maybe Houston is like they made some moves in the offseason getting Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs. So I think you can maybe include them with C.J. Stroud in his second year. So I might lump the Texans into that.
Aaron Rodgers stays healthy all year long. Jets playoff team?
I mean, the East has. Think about the East.
Okay, better than a wild card. Could they be a division
East.
champion?
It's the AFC East. No, because you got Miami and Buffalo in there. Buffalo's the best team. Miami choked it away last year.
They'd have to go through the wild card.
They'll be in as a wild card, and they'll be a dangerous team to play in the playoffs.
And you'll have a quarterback that if he has to go to a cold weather environment, that's not going to shake him.
That is true. Yeah, I think it shook. It shook Tua a little bit going to Kansas City last year. They had it set up. They were in great position. The Dolphins just floundered down the stretch. That's a good question, though.
Well, it wasn't mine. I mean, I heard it on Sportsmanlike that comes on before us because they'd played that Aaron Rodgers as a sound bite about him. He thought the Jets were amongst 8 or 12 teams that are Super Bowl teams, and you guys are getting ready for fantasy drafts, and studying it a lot better than I, but. Made me wonder how many teams are there? Because their first reaction was like, "Oh, so there ain't 12 teams."
Speaking of,
so here's the question. Let me spin it forward. Are there 12 teams in college football that could win the national championship?
No. You got Georgia, the Ohio State Buckeyes. I don't think I can.
I don't even know if you can put Michigan with what they've lost, but
it's a good point.
Texas, Georgia, Ohio State. I don't even know if I can expand past that three. Is there anyone?
So why do we need a 12-team playoff?
Money.
Texas will be the westernmost team with a shot at a title, in your opinion? Okay.
Who else would you include in that?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that, my point that I was driving at is, why do we need a 12-team playoff? I get it.
The coolest part of the 12-team playoff is the home playoff games. That's never happened before in college football. I've been to home NBA playoff games. I think I've been to one home playoff game. I think it was Dallas back in the day. But college campuses are already elite during football season. And I know it's going to be cold. There's certain venues that are going to be frigid as all get out. But that first home football game in an SEC is going to be epic.
I agree.
Whoever hosts.
But here's the other thing I can't wait to see, because I think a couple things will happen. We'll reach a point where it will be all SEC teams in the Final Four. Maybe not out the gate, but that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe all three SEC teams advance to the semifinals. And then a year like last year, where Georgia has the late banana pill, but in an expanded playoff, they'll get a shot. Right? They have to go somewhere to play, and then, the team that would have been left for dead under the previous format will now get a chance in an expanded playoff. So, and probably make some noise. Probably knock out a team that people won't expect because, they got beat by Alabama or whoever in the championship game. Well, they're still a pretty good football team. So, that new dynamic will play out there. But I agree. There's not 6 teams, much less 12 that can win a national championship in football. So, the need for an expanded playoff is greatly overstated, in my opinion.
Seth and Rogers adds Michigan, Alabama, and Ole Miss. Those were the 3 other teams. I heard Greg McElroy talking about
You
Ole
think
Miss.
Georgia could have won it last year if there had been a 12-team format a year
no
ago?
question. They would have won it. They would have won it.
Of course.
Michigan's not beating Georgia, in my opinion.
Of course. So that's one of the things that will probably help identify the best team in football a little more clearly.
Georgia out Michigan's Michigan and what they did. They're the same football team. They've got a game manager quarterback, really good defense. Georgia just has better athletes and a better team. So they would have out Michigan in that game.
I don't disagree, but I mean I hopefully I'm making my point there.
No, I think your point's well made and it's rock solid. And I get it because it's diminished the regular season. Bowl season's already gone by the wayside. No one cares about lesser bowls anymore. I know certain coaches, including Coach Pittman, were pushing that. But it's just reality is fans have been made to think that they don't matter because players don't think they matter.
And all those really good Pac-12 teams last year will be, for the most part, also rans in other leagues.
It's a good point as well.
So, Pac-12 went out with the blaze of glory. You can certainly say that. All right, we're live at Hardee's today, Rogers Avenue, near Northside High School. Big C, you're over there today, right?
Yes.
11-1, another chance to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime if you can eat a monster burger in 150 seconds or less today. We've got, what, 8 at the table now?
8 at the table.
About
8
halfway
more.
there, maybe something like that. So come on down. Hardee's, 11-1 today. Have lunch with Big C.
Come on down, Christian. If you don't, you got to get 4 qualifiers today, like I did on Tuesday. That's the goal you got to shoot for. Okay.
4, I can do it.
Okay. You beat Zach. By the way, as we close out the show, I know Zach is driving in to work, or he's listening right now.
He's just rolling out of bed.
You got spanked last night, buddy. It was, I'd say, a travesty, but as much trash as you've talked before about your talent at college or professional video games, I saw it firsthand, but Christian just spanked you. The first thing that you should do leading off the show today at 2 o'clock is congratulate our man Big C for just whipping you up and down the field.
I heard that at one point on the headset, I had audio. I wish I had it recorded, that at one point he asked you, Daddy, please put the belt away. I get it. Put the belt away, Daddy. Put the belt up. Is that what he said to you?
Not quite.
Not quite?
But
hey, Daddy, put the belt away.
He took it. Big C took a knee at the end of the game. It could have been 3 touchdowns, and he only let it 2. Zach.
Daddy, put the belt up. I get it.
Zach, I'm not going to say that you win. Your daughter's embarrassed of you right now, but I'm not going to say she's not either.
Selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley model